Damn it, I can never find my wraps when I need them. What's up, guys? How you doing? I gotta get some training in. It's pretty late. I just need an ace bandage. I can't seem to find any. See if this works. Oh, cool! This is Velcro. See if that helps a little. Oh, tendonitis. All right, who we got now tonight? We got Any Absent, Ian, my wife Christina, Bobby, Blue, Boris, Ant-Man, prefer fried. I'm doing today my rest day, although I have an essay due tonight. Yeah, I only have a week of training to this competition, and I didn't want to train tonight, but I can't miss any more days, so. Since you eat so many eggs, how do you eat them? Is that a trick question? Like Forrest Gump, instead of shrimp, it's eggs. Well, tonight we're having egg foo young. As far as I can tell, egg foo young is just an omelet that you order from a Chinese restaurant. Yeah. Tennis elbow. No, not quite. So tennis elbow, that's actually would be really similar to that, but it's the barbell. Once you start getting past a certain amount of weight, when you lock in, it puts an enormous amount of torque on your elbows, and start feeling sore right where the bicep connection point is, right here. So that's why you see a lot of squatters, they'll wear elbow sleeves when they're squatting. It's kind of common. Bursitis is when the liquid sac splits and you'll see the elbow puff up. That's bursitis. Why don't I have any elbow wraps? I don't know. I've just never used them. I've never really needed them. I always thought it was stupid that squatters put elbow wraps on the squat. They're not allowed to use them when they bench. Because elbow sleeves will actually help you bench a little bit more. You can get the SBD ones, kind of like knee sleeves. They'll help you squat a couple pounds more. Well, the elbow sleeves will help you bench a few pounds more, which is why they don't allow them in competition. But then you see guys squatting with them. I always thought that was weird. But now, when, it kind of makes sense. Bursitis is any bursa. Bursa is like the liquid sac that cushions your joints. So if any of those bursts or have deformities, that's bursitis. You got the labrum, which is like the cup holder. You've got the bursa, which is the cushion. You've got the cartilage, which is the lubrication, if you will. And of course, you got your ligaments, which hold everything in place, and then your tendons, which attach muscles. And is there anything else I'm missing? Ligaments are your tent pins. Tendons are your tent poles. Muscles are the tent. What's up, Steven? Not much. I have no choice but to train. Obviously I don't have to train, but the consequences of not training means I'm missing out on what little progress I can make before the competition. So I can't miss any more days. And I have zero motivation to do this tonight. But so far everything feels really good, with the exception of my elbow. A little trick you guys can do if you have elbow issues is you can do this as a stretch. Just get under the bar and kind of come up and try to stand into it. Hold that for 15 seconds or so. Come up. Stretch everything out. Do it again. And that can help a little bit. But essentially, once the weight gets past, 500 pounds, when it's sitting across your delts, your hands lock into it, and they literally are preventing the bar from falling down your back. You're locking the weight in. So you're turning your upper body into like a tripod, and it puts a lot of torque on the arms. It just bends them back. So like right now, I get the weight here, and I'm up. I'm not holding it, it's resting against my palms. And that's what hurts when I'm unlocking everything. Ooh. It almost kind of makes me want to switch to the camber bar, but see if we can wrap this a little better. There we go. No, I didn't bother with a pinned comment. You know what? I'm having one of those moods where I just don't care tonight. You know, like it's the same stupid comments over and over again on every stream, and I'm just like, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm on my period. I'll be honest with you. I kind of went through. I was this close to just saying screw it and dropping out of the competition. My work's sending me up to Utah next week. I do every competition I go through this though. Right when you get to the end, where it gets the hardest, you almost every single time I go through this little mini crisis where I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? You know what I mean? It's like, what am I getting out of this? But usually I get through it, and then I'm fine. I'll laugh about it in the morning and be like, what the hell was that about? When in doubt, just train anyways. No, normally we're a lot more cheerful around here. We like to joke around and have a good time. This always happens. So like, there's always something when I'm competing. Like right now, my hips feel great. My back injury is perfect. My legs are strong. Knees feel awesome. And now my elbow's acting up. It's like every time there's always something. But I'm so close to breaking those records. It would be. I always do this where I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to train. I don't want to go heavy. But then it's like a week away from competition. And you're going to really waste all of that. You know what I mean? We got the Helix sleeves on, you know I'm serious. These are hands down the best sleeves money can buy. And they are horrible to it. They're horribly uncomfortable. So I'm walking and my legs are like stiff, like I'm wearing wraps. That's how thick these are. What if I bring my hands in a little? Let's see. That's a little better. The problem with these sleeves, you have to roll them down because they'll cut off your leg circulation. It's like cardio. I'm like, ugh. I'm out of breath. What'd you do? I put my sleeves on. Whoo-wee. Rich guy, what's up? I am Bale. RC Hunter. Hopefully, 85 views and 11 likes. Really, already? Jay, he's competing. Yes, I don't know if someone's asking. Pelvic tilt. You need your hips adjusted, probably. Yeah, I gotta. Let me see. I lost the use of my right leg. I've got a curve in my spine. I have 48 stitches across my L5. I have a fracture in my L5. I had to learn how to walk again. So yeah, I'm in balance for sure. Yeah. And I'm still gonna squat 700 pounds. You know what the hardest part of the squatting is for me? Is walking out. It's terrifying. Once I get like above 600 pounds, I have to be super, super careful when I step out. I have no muscles but a big peepee. Samson. Well, hey, you got that going for you. Hey, would it be if I had the choice between big muscles or and a little peepee? I'd have to go with your setup. Let's see. Man, somebody deleted your comment. T, I didn't get to read it. T, oh, babe, T says the same thing that's like his thing. That's our thing. That's our thing, T. They say calves impacts the walkout. I feel like you're going to make a point. it's so weird. Like I get these jackasses that say my calves aren't big, right? So they think that they're not strong. And this is all coming from people who have never walked out the weight I have, Bob. You've never had that much weight on your back. you're gonna you're gonna take a jab at my calves? Are you kidding me? That's genetics. Like I don't. There's nothing wrong with my calves. They're tiny. They're like the size of my forearms, but they're plenty strong. If you want to start taking pokes at each other, passive aggressive stabs, Bob, we can do that. You want to do that? Is that what you want to do tonight? uh, yeah, Samson. I think I would rather have if I had the option, but it was one or the other. But here's what I'll tell you: go lift some weights. Show us your calves. They're turning purple right now because these sleeves are cutting them off. See, I got little tiny girly calves. Yeah, and I'm not gonna do a goddamn thing about it either. Like you guys ever seen like what is it, Olympic sprinters? These big old quads and little tiny calves. Or you see it a lot with like running backs in the NFL. You're generating all your power, boom, from your posterior chain. But like the size of the muscle has nothing to do with the strength of it. That's just genetics. I need shorter shorts. I have shorter shorts. I got way shorter. Let's see here. Do you have any record lifts? I got the Nevada state records in 2 weight classes. Had the national records in the tested. USPA tested in 2016. I was the national record holder for 220. I've competed at Worlds twice. I've competed at Nationals twice. I'm ranked #1 in the world for my weight and age, which is age 50, 220 weight class raw. All federations. I'm ranked #1. And then on March 15th, I'll be competing, and hopefully I'll break the national records for. I'll get the total for sure because the national record for the total is 1650, and I have that beat easily. Squat is 650. I think I have that. Deadlift 705. That might be. It's not impossible, but that's close. Like I'm right around like probably 690, 695. Can I hit 705? It's possible. I hit 710 on the trap bar for a double. I have the strength, but usually my limiting factor for deadlifts is grip. So if I can hold on to the bar, I can get 700. Let's see. Bench, I don't think I'll be able to get benched. It's 425. I'm right around 410, 405, somewhere in there. But the thing is, let's say you can bench 410 with a touch and go. You bench, bam. What makes it difficult in competition is the pause commands. You got to hold it until the ref says bench. And what they do is they wait for the bar to be still. So if you have a nice controlled eccentric, you'll get a really quick press command, but you can't jump it. You have to hold it until he says press. So what I tell guys is add 25 pounds to your bench. And that's about so if you're a 405 bencher in the gym, you're looking at about a 385 competition bench. Because you have to be able to pause that. Does that mean it's impossible? Well, yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I would have to have an amazing, perfect day to get all 3 records, but I'll definitely get the total, which is the big one. That's the one they look at when they look at rankings. And then of course I think I'll definitely get squats. So I'll get 2 out of the 4 records for sure. Do you have to deadlift raw or can you use straps? No, you gotta do raw. I use a supinated grip, supinated. A lot of guys will use hook grip, or some. I've never really seen anyone double overhand, but there might be. Shoulder press is not a powerlifting lift. Let me see. Well, Yahweh. I mean, he asked. He asked me, "Do you have any records?" I told him. Is it bragging if you ask me and I answer your question? Like, okay. And on that note, YouTube. If you're ever, you know what's awesome about YouTube is it definitely keeps you grounded. If you're ever feeling too good about yourself, YouTube's there to knock you down back to earth. Get back down there with the rest of us, like the crabs in the bucket thing. Give me a second. I'm gonna use little boy's room. All right. All right, we're moving right along. Oh, my Russian friend, Viktor Gustarev. Yeah, you guys got to check him out, man. He's an awesome dude. He won. Yeah. Well, not only did he win gold at Worlds, he also placed in the open division. So he, because Matt, they have guys over 50, over 40. They compete in a different. It's called Masters. And then you have your open division, which is age 23 to 34. But anybody can enter. So if you're 60, you can still compete in the open division. You can cross enter. So him and I both always cross enter because if you do well, you might win a medal in the open division. And at Worlds, it is very unlikely for a 50-year-old man to be able to compete with the younger guys because those are the best. Those are the best amateur powerlifters in the nation. And he did. He placed. He got a bronze medal in the open division, which is just unheard of. So here I am. I'm firmly locked at second with a 1,650 pound total in the 44 to 49 age bracket. Victor, his total was 200 pounds higher than mine. Same weight, same age. That's how good this guy is. Now, I don't know how he does it, but somehow he trains at 260 pounds and he does this insane water cut where he'll drop down to 220, weigh in, and then immediately refeeds and gets all his weight back. It's legal. I don't know how you do it. The most I've ever cut, I want to say I did like 25 pounds, and that killed me. Like it actually hurt my competition. So he's a machine, dude. Victor is an animal, and he's a good friend too. He was in my corner one year. We were competing against each other. I think he knew there's no way I was going to beat him. So it's no skin off his ass, but he was helping me out because I didn't have a cameraman and I didn't have anyone to help me make adjustments at that competition. So him and his two Russian buddies who were in Adidas tracksuits, total stereotypical Russians, just standing there with their arms crossed, wearing all Adidas, with the toothpick and everything. You lean too forward in your squat. You need to teach your feet out. Okay. He's like, open your hips more. Thanks, Victor. Here, drink this. What's in it? Don't ask. Oh shit! There we go. Now we're talking. Shuab Hussein. So you can do 7 pull-ups now. That's awesome. The body beatdown. What's up? I listened to your social media talk today. Batman Joker. What's up, brother? Terry Heeb. Hey, bro. What are your thoughts on fentanyl as a pre-workout? Dude, go for it. You report back to us. Do you like Rich Piana? Yeah, he's a cool dude. I actually met him a few times. Did you serve with the Russians in Iraq? No, I served with some Ukrainians, though. Did some cross-training with them. I have somewhere in this house, I have a flask that's got their little symbol. It's not the same as their flag with the sickle and the hammer, but it's a Russian symbol. And the guy traded it for the Gerber knife I had. I had a $40 Gerber Gator, and he thought it was the coolest thing in the world. It's just a little flip knife you could buy at Walmart. And he just was like, I guess you can't get stuff or he couldn't get stuff like that over there. So he traded me that flask for that. And I wish I knew what I did with that thing because it's really cool. It had vodka in it too. Stereotypes exist for a reason, I guess. You went from meathead to lifting. No, I am a meathead. I can finally say you can't toss around my deadlift on bench, I think. What'd you hit today, Dennis? My old lady said the same thing this morning. I have a protein addiction. Ordered a power rack. Will arrive today. Nice. 325. Well, my bench opener is probably going to be like 375. But I mean, I can't throw around 325, so. I'm getting to the point where I see my reflection. And that's awesome, by the way. I'm sorry. I meant to add that. I'm getting to the point where I see my reflection and go, whoa, I'm getting pretty jacked. I know, man. It's like, isn't that nice? Beefcake. Ukrainians are selling Tretch art online if you want a mortar shell. You know, I got some stuff somewhere. What's your favorite accessory to increase your squat? More squats. I'm not even being hyperbolic. Like, more. So what squats specifically? I like to do Profit Fear turned me on to this split squat I like to do. where it has lengthened partials. That's a really specific one to me though because of the curve in my spine. So I do a lot of those. That's lighter weight stuff. Then I do a lot of dynamic box squats, which is where you set up a box to right around depth. I mean, it can be a little high, a little low, right in there, and you do a slow eccentric, like a 3 count to the box, and you hold it to break up the stretch reflex, and then you fire off as fast as possible, and you try to accelerate each lift off the box as fast as you can. You usually do those in sets of 2 or 3 for a total of between 5 and 10 sets. Those will really blow up your if you have any sticking points in your squat, those will cure that. And then I like to do banded squats because that helps me open my, it trains the adductors and it helps me open up my hips properly. But for the most part, I've gotten the most mileage out of just doing more squats. And I like to rotate between low bar, high bar, front squats, like all the varieties of them. And they always told me as a teen that doing blow before workout would pop your heart. I mean, it'll definitely increase your heart rate. Uh, I'll try them out. Uh, Low bar. I do low bar. I'm just trying to keep up with the comments here. What would you say is the best method for improving your bench press? I think it's the same as all the other lifts. Just I go. See, here's the thing. It's hard to articulate um, programming because when you get to like elite level of powerlifting, it's a process. It's periodization. You go through different blocks. So it's like there's no way to say like, well, just bench more or or slow the tempo down. Like all that stuff's true. But if your goal is to increase your 1 rep max and you've trained to your potential of whatever program you're looking at, what you really need to do is look at your programming. Like all year long, my goal is to be able to compete at Worlds or Nationals and break records. So I'm not thinking the 6 to 12 weeks before competition. I'm already pre-planning like this meet right here is what's called a qualifier. And while I am going to attempt to break some records at this qualifier, normally what I'm doing is I'm getting my qualification numbers so I could do that on the big stage. So where am I going with that? So right now, this is a phase. This is phase 1 of my program, get my qualifying numbers. Phase 2 is rest and then condition. And that's going to look like a month or 2 of really low rep or really high rep, low weight lifting, conditioning. And then we're going to go into, like a hypertrophy block where then our goal is to put as much muscle on or get as strong as we possibly can in our weight class. And then we go into competition training, which is 6 to 8 to 12 at the most weeks of specific training for competition. So all of that is important for increasing my bench, but which part of it specifically did my bench increase at? We're going up, we're going up, we're going up, we're peaking, we're competing, and now we're taking a step back, and then we're going up, we're going up, we're going up, we're peaking, and then we're taking a step back and we're going up. So I'm holistically looking at my entire body is that I'm taking it to the max and then I'm backing off and then I'm taking it to the max and then I'm backing off. So I guess the question would be, what do I do when I'm stuck on bench? Usually what that looks like 9 times out of 10 is lowering the weight and increasing the rep range, the volume for short periods of time. So if you're stuck at if you're trying to get like 3 plates and you can only put 310 on the bar and you're trying week after week to just put that extra 5 pounds on the bar and you just can't get it, back down to 300 and start doing AMRAPs at that weight. Do that for 4 weeks and then take a rest and try to hit it and see if you get it. That's normally what I do whenever I'm stuck at any lift. All right. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, all right. Man, it's been windy. My backyard is thrashed. Everybody's allergies. My eyes are itchy. So that means if the wind comes through in the desert like this, it always precedes an enormous temperature jump. So it's either going to get super cold again, or it's going to get hot. One of the two. Man, that felt really light. Whew. Let's see. Brian Realtor says, how can you squat that much and have skinny legs? And I could say, why do you train that much and look like you don't lift? I'm going to subscribe to your channel, Brian. You got a new subscriber. And I squat way more than that. That's like warm. I'm still warming up. Do you see a decrease in muscle size switching from hypertrophy to strength? Or do you maintain your size? Well, see, that's the thing, David. I'm not a bodybuilder, so I don't really I'm not trying to maintain physique. Everything I do is just for being able to hit one more on competition. So if I look like this, it's just, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I don't train to look like this. I just look like this. I don't know. I mean, it's probably genetics. I'm sure if I did actually spend the time and tried to, increase muscle size, just did hypertrophy work. I mean, look at these things. I mean, I guarantee you, so like the guy who just told me my legs were small, I just saw your channel, right? I want you to flex your legs and tell me what they look like. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look at these are fucking horse quads. Like, what are you talking about? If someone's gonna talk shit and they have a fitness channel, they better be able to back it up. I subscribe to his channel though because he's got balls. You have no idea how dark the world is. You know, my wife and I were talking about that earlier. It's really easy to get like nihilistic and caught up in like how much shit sucks. But then you start thinking about like all the good things and how well we have it. I don't know. I think how good or bad the world is really depending on mindset, you know? Like I did not want to train tonight and I was in a horrible mood when I started the stream. And now I'm like, I'm doing better. The weight's moving really easily. I'll tell you what, you know, I gotta be the only lifter online that has people telling me I need to work legs out while I'm squatting. Like, okay, thanks. You hit me on my ego. Well, yeah, I gotta give you shit, dude. No, but I subscribed to your channel. I'm gonna be watching you. I'm expecting progress. See, but here's the difference. I leave encouraging comments on other people's pages. Like, even if I see a guy, like, doing a crazy, ugly lift and he squats, like, quarter reps, I'll still be like, that's good job, buddy. Training. We're all training to get better. And everybody else is like, that squat didn't count. You suck. You should kill yourself. I'm like, whoa. Like, easy. uh, Training always improves the mood. Yeah, usually. Would you recommend getting a wife? Yes. To quote Beastie Boys, girls to do the dishes, girls to clean up my room, girls to do the laundry. Do. My wife's gonna kick my ass. She's moderating. Thoughts on Dan Blazarian? Dan is a joke. Anybody can. What do I say about Dan? You know what? He's living his life. He's one of those guys that could take nothing and make something out of it. And you could say, well, look at this guy. He's all fake. Everything about him's bullshit. His wives are all like, you know, super hot OnlyFans girls and everything he rents, and he doesn't own his mansion. But at the same time, the guy is famous. He got to live a lavish lifestyle that most of us can only dream about, and he got to do all of that based on some bullshit that he was spouting on the internet. And it's like, what do you say? Like, the guy in his own right was very successful. But it's like the whole alpha male thing on YouTube where you got these guys that flaunt material wealth, and they either drive like, you know, Lamborghinis. You know, you in Vegas you can rent a Lamborghini for $500. You can just go rent one. I could rent one tonight. I could be driving around a Gallardo right now for $500. And it would be super easy for me to get a couple of cameras and set them up and drive around the strip in a Gallardo and put on one of my nicer Fossil watches. You could dress up, you know, whatever. But then they're trying to sell something that they can't sustain themselves. There's the problem with it, is they're selling a lie. So a lot of these guys are making money by telling you that if you follow my program, you can be like me. And this is true. Because if you look at the guys that are successful, it's all pyramid scheme. So, like, for a good example would be Wes Watson. Wesley. He sells his program for whatever, $10,000. And let's say I pay him 10 grand. What he has me do is basically sell his program to more of my friends, and they in turn sell to their friends and their friends and their friends, and then there's this extreme push to sell his program, and it pyramids up. So the guy at the top of the pyramid makes a lot of money. The guys at the top of the pyramid make a lot of money, and then the farther the pyramid goes, the less money there is because it all funnels up. But all pyramid schemes, because they're based on sustainment, once they get to the point of saturation, every single one of them falls. They fail at some point. And it's usually that's when they get exposed and we all see the bullshit. And then with Wes, he already let the cat out of the bag because you could tell right away that everything about him was rented. Like, he doesn't own his cars, he doesn't own his house, he doesn't own his wife. So what is he selling exactly? Whereas a guy like me, just some old loser that works construction. I live in a small 1,600-foot house. I got a couple of old cars, but they're paid for. My, wife and kids are inside. Daughter's playing Minecraft. I'm out here lifting in this shit, crap equipment that you can get from yard sales and estate sales. Everything's secondhand. There's nothing fancy about anything I do. And even if I had all the money in the world, I would probably still just spend the money because I'm cheap. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing pretentious or flashy about me. And yeah, I might clean up and put a nice watch on, and we go out to dinner. I got a Mustang. It's a pretty fast car, and it's fun to drive, and we clean up pretty good. But there's nothing about me that screams like, "Whoa, this guy's super successful." Like, no, I mean, but I support a family, and they go to school and they get fed, and all the bills are paid, and we're okay. Whereas like guys like Wes Watson, he's about to lose everything. And then what is he going to be left with? What skills does he have once he can no longer sell his bullshit? And then on top of that, all the money that he's taken from everybody else, and they've been parted with their hard-earned cash, and at the end of the day, it doesn't make you more desirable as a male either. Because no, women don't want that. They don't want some aggressive asshole. They want a strong, competent man. Yeah. So, Stephen, I would say my life is way better than his. But what he would say is, I'm only saying that to cope, because what I really want is his life, and I'm just saying that to get because he would not believe for a second that I honestly believe that what I have is way more desirable than what he has. And at the end of the day, here's what's cool about it. Let's say I lose that job in construction I've been working for 20 years, or something happens. Maybe I get hurt, whatever. Our lifestyle's sustainable. It's my mortgage is less than $2,000 a month. I could go to work at Walmart as a greeter and probably put enough scratch together to pay my mortgage. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whereas if he's not making, let's say, $400,000 a month, he can't afford his rent. So he's losing money if it's like his lifestyle's so unsustainable that he has no choice but to rip people off. And it's like I could lose it all and we would still be able to scrape by. You know what I mean? Good night, Munchie. Imagine if he was a black African fella. Well, that would be Cali Muscle. And the Strength Cartel guys. And what do you know? They all work together. How about that? Yeah. And what does Cali Muscle sell? Programs. You're saying he's doing the Lord's work. You got $3,000. I'll teach you how to be famous on YouTube. When I'm getting my shit channel with 7,000 subscribers is getting more views than Cali Muscles is. You don't need to pay me anything. I'll tell you exactly how I did it. Where Wes Watson wears a purse. It's funny is he, if I was going to carry a purse around, I would at least have like a 45 or something cool in it, like a Kimber 45, like a 1911. And since he's a felon, he can't, so he probably has like a little spray can of mace or something. Can you imagine watching this big old fucking juiced up meathead and you pick a fight with him in public, and he reaches into his purse and pulls out mace. Like, get the fuck away from me. Have you ever heard of photobiomodulation? I have not. Let me see if I can guess what it is. So, photo, meaning light, bio, human body, modulation. So, we're using some kind of light waves to do what to the human body? What is photobiomodulation? YouTube is crap. You're jealous of Kelly muscles. See. Hey, Maggie, what's up? I didn't see you there. Sorry about that. Ironic, inappropriate comments. That is an awesome name. Yeah, there, dude. There's nothing wrong with carrying mace, but I'm just saying it's funny because, like, for a guy that fronts as tough as he is, you would think, like, if I'm carrying a purse around, me being a Marine, it's probably my first thought would be like, damn, he probably has a cannon in that thing, and he pulls out a little spray can, like, I'd be like, or at least like a big old Bowie knife or something, something like, holy shit. Red light therapy and infrared. Yes, I have heard of that. No, I don't know much about it. When I blew my shoulder out, I was scheduled to get infrared therapy done to it, but I never got it done, and I forgot what the reason was. Probably money. Oh, my alarm went off, huh? Shit. All right. All right. Let me get my head in the game here. This is my first working set. Here we go. Man, my nose is running. I think the wind finally died down. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, all right. Here we go. Felt uneven. I made sure and hit depth on those. Oh, it's always uneven. Now I got safety bars. They're right there. They stick out about a foot. No shoulder pain. Elbow. Because of the torque, the weight. When you lock it in your delts, your arms lock the bar in. We catch my breath. So your arms lock the bar in, and it's pushing outwards. So there's a lot of torque on your elbow joint. Am I blind in my right eye? Hope not. Yeah, no, I haven't, because of my hip injury, I always have a little bit of a uneven squat, but it doesn't matter in competition. As long as the bar goes up and down and there's no change in direction, it counts. And all three of those were definitely to depth. I absolutely know I hit depth. Dino-mite. I probably shit bigger than you, dude. I'll tell you what, Dean. Come on down to Vegas. We'll get in the ring and go a few rounds. I would love it. If it's a whooping you're wanting. Have you ever got a nosebleed from a lift? I want to say yes on deadlifts, but yeah, I think I got one on deadlifts once. Ego, where have you been? We always have keyboard warriors in the chat. Like, we got like, take you in a fight. What did I say to that? Okay. Super? Like, do you want a cookie? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to respond to that. Like, great. Good for you. I'm not sure what that has to do with the sport of powerlifting, but I don't believe you. Let's just put it this way. I'm not going to lose sleep over you. What did you snort before the lift? I took a big hot rail off your mom's crack. Looks about 500 pounds. It's closer to 6. That was 545. Well, no. If it's below 550, it's actually closer to 500. Marine rounding. Send location. I'm here in Vegas, so you can meet me at One Kicks Gym off of Pecos and Sunset. Let me know when you're in town. You can do it in front of my entire class. I'll let Nick, the owner of the gym, know that a buddy of mine want to spar, and he'll let us use the ring. And we can film it. Absolutely can do, brother. Hit me up on Instagram. If you go to my page and you go right where it says, it's got me on the top, there's a link to Instagram below that, and I'll get you the physical locations. That would make my fucking year. Man, that would be awesome. But you have to understand, because I see you as an NPC in my comment section, I'm going to be taking out every shitty comment that I've ever gotten for the last 3 years on your face. So just so you know that. uh, See, honestly, like, it's so stupid because there's not for a second do I think that someone's actually going to do that. If they do, though, there's rules. You have to wear pads, and it's in the ring, and you know, we're gonna do like Muay Thai or boxing. Not like, how like Wes, that guy showed up at his gym, and him and his buddies started beating the crap out of him with gym equipment. Like, there's none of that. Like, we're putting gloves on, and it's legal. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, mutual combat. Where they got a guy there, somebody that can attend if you get hurt. There's people like referees, that kind of thing. Like when they do sparring, like you gotta. There's rules. Everybody wears headgear, mouth guards, shin pads, knee pads, 16-ounce gloves. Which if you don't have them, we have extras. You do 2-minute rounds, that kind of thing. I'm losing weight to get visible abs. Any advice? Generally speaking, most men, you can start seeing their abs right around that 20% body fat. So if you can get to, like, I don't know what your body fat percentage is, but that should be your target. I would say like 20% is reasonable and healthy for most men. I mean, you hear these insane, crazy bodybuilders say to get down to 10%, and it's like, no, it's unsustainable for most people. Like right now, I'm probably, walking around at like 12%, somewhere in there. And I've been in the same weight class for like 10 years, so it's super easy for me to keep, you know, reasonably shredded because I'm not gaining weight, I'm not losing weight, I'm just maintaining a weight class. So what works for me is not necessarily going to work for you. I mean, if you think about it, like, say you compete at a weight class, whatever it is, 220, 198, 242, whatever, and you stay at that same weight for 10 years and you're just training, 5 days a week, getting as strong as you can, it's pretty easy to get dialed in. You learn your body, you know to stop eating at a certain point, you know what to stay away from, you know how to, if you start putting a little bit of weight on, you know how to cut off, you know how to manipulate your body fluids. So if you're carrying an excess water weight, it's easy to manipulate your electrolytes and that kind of thing. But for a lot of guys, it's like, they're bulking, and then they want to shred. It's like, holy shit, you got to lose 30 pounds, then you lose all that muscle. So I'm a big advocate of, like, if you're going to gain weight, do it really slow and steady over time and make sure you're training. Losing weight, same thing. Like, no crash dieting, no crazy water cuts. Just cut a few hundred calories to your diet. Get rid of things like mayonnaise on sandwiches, creamer from coffee. Switch to diet soda for a few months. Whatever it is. Like, you don't want to make huge drastic changes to your diet that's unsustainable, because then you're not going to stick with it. But yeah, you just want to basically find how many calories on average you need to survive every day. And that's the easiest way to do that, is to start writing down everything you eat for like a week or two. Like everything. You wake up in the middle of the night and hit the ice cream in the freezer, write it down. You have snacks during the day, write it down. Obviously your 3 meals. A lot of people, they think that they don't eat that much. And then when they actually write it down and look at it, they're surprised to find out like how many little excess calories they are actually getting. So like an example is my wife and I were cleaning up the bedroom, and I walked by and grabbed a handful of potato chips. And I didn't think anything of it. It was not a meal. It was just a really quick snack because my stomach was growling. How many calories was that? Probably 90. Okay, 90 calories right there. Bam, I had a handful of chips. The average person who thinks, I hear this all the time, well, I'm not eating that much. I only have like 2 meals a day. It's coming from somewhere. When you write it down, you can actually see it. And then you're like, holy shit, I'm actually eating a lot. Once you know that, you can kind of see, okay, I'm eating 3,000 calories a day. What do I need to do to start losing weight? Cut 500. You want it to be reasonable. You want it to be something that's not hard for you to do. You don't have to change your lifestyle drastically. You don't have to go on these absurd, like, I'm going to go on carnivore diet for 3 months. It's like, no, you don't need to do that. Not saying that's bad. If you want to do a diet like keto or carnivore or something like that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But for most people, that is unsustainable because it's not enjoyable. And if you're doing something you don't enjoy or can't tolerate, you're not going to stick with it, if that makes sense. So we always go for slow and steady wins the race. And then what's cool about that is you won't lose a ton of strength and it'll be sustainable. Like that weight will be gone. You won't have to worry about like blowing right back up again. Oh, and then the opposite's true as well. If you decide you want to put a little weight on, you just add a little extra food to your diet. You actually extra scoop of rice, that kind of thing. Dean, are you still babbling? Is he still going on? Oh man, I forgot about you. I must have really triggered this guy. Sorry, buddy. You need a hug, Dean. Everybody, Dean needs a hug. Dean, did you not have a dad? Talk to me, buddy. You seem like a guy that's either didn't have a good relationship with his father or maybe didn't know him. Like, tell me what's up. Talk to me, buddy. We're here for you. Those who care, let's see. Yeah. Do you do cardio? Only when my wife lets me. Group hug, Tommy. Hell yeah. Dean wants to wrestle. He wants to get me all greased up like a piggy. Wee! My strength. My squat is 330, deadlift 420, bench 220. No pre-workout, no supplements, natural. Is this good? I'm only in 6 months. Well, I would say that's very good. How much do you weigh? That's way, 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 way more than I was lifting at 6 months. I love the NPC. I'm looking at. I love it when people are like I call them like sanctimonious natties. They're the types that are like, I deadlifted 405 beltless. Like, okay, like beltless. Like like putting a belt on somehow is going to turn you into like, Ed Cohen or something. Like, oh, he put a belt on. Whoa. David D. Dean. Yeah, dude, he's still going on. I guess I must have really bothered him. You got to remember, Dean. There's a lot of comments flying by, and I got to try to keep up with everybody. So I don't really have a whole bunch of time to pay attention to you. So I do apologize for that. But that's why I said you can hit me up on Instagram if you really want to talk. If nothing else, you could tell me your woes. I'll be a shoulder for you to cry on. Yeah, scary. Yeah, Dean's gonna get me. It is. I've had people like off stream. People are like, you gotta be careful, dude. Like, someone could come to your house and people have guns and stuff. And I was like, okay, like you're talking to a Marine and who incidentally has the one woman on planet Earth who's a better shot than he is. And she has more weapons than him. Now, if you get to my front door and you get through that savage pit bull I got, that's about enough time to alert my wife to grab her Benelli and meet you in the hallway, chances are I'll be in the kitchen and I'm not going to go for a weapon. I'm going to grab this cast iron skillet I got hanging from the ceiling, and I'm going to see how you handle about 14 pounds of steel to the back of your head. Blank. I'm just saying, like, we're armed. We got guns too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why you. And plus, not to mention, like, with all kidding aside, like, I do conflict resolution for a living. Like, I'm literally the guy that they call in on the job site to resolve conflicts when guys are like getting into fights and stuff. And my background's in like behavioral science, that kind of thing. Like, how to get people to do things they don't want to do, essentially, to where it's like amicable for both parties. That's largely the field I'm in. I make sure that we stay in regulatory, and that we're not going to get fined from the state, and that we have a good safety program. And what's cool about Vegas is the team I have, and it's my team. We're the safest in the country. Yeah, we are. We have the lowest EMR rating of any steel erection ironworker outfit in the United States, and so we have a really good safety program. And the point is like, I am the guy that like tries to talk people down. Like, if you like say you came at me and you were like, "Oh, I'll kick your ass," like I'm gonna like, "What's up, man? Like, let's have a talk. You know, come over here. Tell me what's bothering you." Like, I'm the guy that's gonna help you get to where you are looking at yourself to see where all that anger and hatred comes from, and we're gonna discover some things about ourselves. You know what I mean? And like, I'm the last guy that would ever start a fight with anybody. And like, I'm always like trying to use my words to resolve conflicts, even if it's like negotiating contracts or something of that nature. It's like, grown men just don't act like that. We're not infantile egomaniacs. That violence is not how we solve our problems. And then the other thing I always tell guys is like, say you have two dudes and they disagree with each other and they decide to fight. And let's say I say the sky's blue and you say it's green. And I say, no, it's blue. And you're like, it's green, motherfucker. And then you fight, beat me up. You kick my ass up and down the street. I look like 2 miles of bad road when I'm done. Does that make the sky green? No. So it doesn't prove anything. It doesn't solve any problems. It just makes you stronger and a better fighter than somebody. And here's the bottom line. No matter how much of a badass you are, there's always someone who could whoop your ass, and you don't know who that dude is. And it's usually the guy that's not talking about how bad he is. Guaranteed. So with that being said, you know, I'm not that guy. I'm a total fucking cupcake. I'm a softie. You know what I mean? Like, I play with Warhammer figurines. Me and my daughter paint our toes together. And we dress up dollies. I play with little silky chickens. It's like, I'm a total pushover. But if you put your hands on me, you're in for some shit. There's a line you can cross with me where I'm gonna break your fucking neck and piss in your corpse. Understand that. Just saying. And luckily, I have my wife to protect me because she's got way more of a temper than I do. So, you know what's funny? It's like, she doesn't put up with shit from anybody. So a lot of times, like, I'm backing her up. Like, oh shit, babe's getting into it. If you accidentally hurt someone, go to prison, always a walk away. It's better to be at peace. 100%. The ghost of Amishi. You said it way better than I did. You know what I mean? Like, the saying is, chance favors the prepared. I have a fire extinguisher sitting right over there, and I check it every month to make sure that the pressure's good, the pin's in there, it's going to work. If there's a fire, that fire extinguisher is going to work. And I have them strategically located inside the house so that if there's a fire in the kitchen, I can get to the garage. If there's one in the bedroom, I can get to the hallway, whatever. We have an ability to get the equipment to deal with the emergency. That's my training, emergency response. Now, I haven't touched that fire extinguisher in 10 years. I've never had to use it. I always make sure it's charged. I always make sure it's good to go. But it's 10 years old, never had to use it. Does that mean because I haven't had a fire in 10 years that I shouldn't be prepared to deal with one. That's the thing. That's the thing about any kind of training, whether it's firearms, combat, whatever the case may be. Chance favors the prepared. So, why do we train? We train because in the event that there is an emergency situation and you do have to defend somebody that can't defend themselves, which is every man's obligation, you're able to do so. And that's why when I go out every day, I have a 45 in my center console. You never know. It's like a fire extinguisher. Better to have it and not need it. And then, of course, make sure you know how to use the damn thing. Okay, so I need to do. So that was 545 for 3, and I buried the shit out of them. I'm feeling really good about this. My next set, I have to hit 580 for 2. This is going to tell me where I'm at. $45. $55. $65. Let me make sure. Is it 580? Yes, 580 for a set of 2. 45, 55, 65. Where are my 5s? What I do my collar. Oh, ha. Set the alarm for another 5 minutes. All right. Heave ho, man. Let's get her. This is what this will tell me where I'm at, guys. So, like I said, I need to beat 650 in competition. I got we're exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 days out. I've got one more heavy squat day where I have to hit 600 for reps. But this is 580 for a double. If this moves well, then I'm confident that I'm gonna be able to at least break my own competition record, which is 620 pounds. But I really want to get 650. Or more. David D, your mom will thank you. No, you don't want to go ask the grass dragon tamer. No. There's no, just hips below the knee. You don't get extra points for depth. There's no point in burying a squat and losing all of that power. You have to. It's that extra 2 or 3 inches that it would take to go ass to grass is a lot more. You need a lot more strength. And the rules, competition rules for powerlifting is the hip, the crease of the hip needs to be below the top of the knee. So that it's still a pretty deep squat. It's gonna look like this, right in here. Yeah, right about there. Whoa, right about there. That's where we want to be. So this ass to grass, there's no extra points for that. This is as deep as I can go. I'm resting right now. I'm just sitting here. This is where you want to be for competition. Boom. I have, well, when I'm wearing these big, thick knee sleeves, it's about an inch. That it's not just not. I'm not going to go down all the way with these on. What is my motivation for doing workout? I'm a competitive powerlifter who's obsessed with breaking records at the age of 50, and I probably have a mental condition. Thank you, Gonzo. How often should I go for deadlift? I'm 50 and I've had back problems. So to mitigate those back problems, I changed the way I do deadlifting. I do a lot of stiff leg Romanian style deadlifts, I do 3 squats to every deadlift, so 3-to-1 ratio. And like today, I'm going to be doing deadlifts immediately after squatting. I'm using my squats to warm up for deadlifts. So why this strategy? Well, it lowers the overall volume that I'm putting on my back, and it kind of saves it. Plus, squats carry over to deadlifts, but deadlifts don't really carry over to squats, if that makes sense. Unless you're doing extreme deficits. But it's a strategy that's worked really well for me. Older lifters, you want to try to increase the intensity. What does that mean? Well, you're going to lower the volume. So instead of doing, like, say, 5 sets of 8 or 3 sets of 10, I'm going to do 1 set to failure, and then I'm done. So it's an overall lowering of the volume, but the intensity of that working set is way more than I would have put into the sets of volume I'm doing, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? You guys putting down you picking up what I'm putting down? And that works to a point. So that's where, like I was saying, when we're talking about the advanced program of a competitive powerlifter or an Olympic weightlifter, there's no do this week. It's changes. It's periodization. So that's where we do conditioning blocks and hypertrophy blocks and volume blocks and mobility training. It's like we do different chunks of training for, like, a conditioning might look like 4 weeks of sets of 50% of your 1 rep max for 50 reps. That's what conditioning looks like. And then your hypertrophy training, that's going to be your traditional, 5 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 8 or 5 sets of 10. And then you're going to go into specificity, which is where we start honing down the accessories to just the 3 lifts that you're going to do on the platform. And that's what your, Bulgarian training or your Smolov or whatever, that you're really you're getting specific to the lifts, and all your accessories directly translate to the lift you're doing. Not the best for bodybuilding, but the cool thing about it is there's an enormous amount of carryover between hypertrophy and strength. Meaning, if you're doing strength training with sets to failure, you're also getting hypertrophy. Now, it might not be as efficient as, let's say, your traditional volume programs, but it's, what are we talking about? We're talking about we don't have all day to train. We're older, so it takes us longer to recover. We need to limit the volume. And yeah, there might be better ways of doing it, but is it the most efficient use of your time? That's what it kind of like comes down to. It's complicated. That's when people ask me, like, well, what's your program? And it's like, you got an hour and a spreadsheet? Like, it's not so, like, for example, this program I'm doing right now, there's, week 1 is called muscular conditioning with moderate difficulty, and that was like my 5 sets of 6 at 70%. And week 2 was called muscular conditioning hypertrophy. It's a little bit higher difficulty. Week 3 is called linear max OT phase. And then week 4 is you're going to be your heavy weight acclimation, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm getting acclimated to lifting heavy right now. That's why I'm doing 580 for a set of 2. Now, week 5 is going to be high intensity strength, and that's going to be very specific to competing. This will determine the openers I use in competition, and it'll also determine approximately what I can expect to be able to lift max rep. And each week's this is a condensed program. It's a condensed 6-week program, but what it would look like normally is a 12-week version of this program would be, it would be spread out a little bit more, but it would be those same blocks of programming. Everything goes in a spreadsheet. I track all the numbers. I can compare this to the last time I lifted, which, I was a year younger. Things were different. I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning I break my legs. Every afternoon I break my arms. At night I lie awake in agony until my heart attacks put me to sleep. What was that movie, Invincible? Squat twice a week, deadlift once a week, bench 2 to 3 times a week. Worked well for me. Yeah, and David, there's nothing wrong with that until it doesn't work for you. Because what'll happen is over time, assuming that you're following linear progression or some form of progression, the weights you're going to be working with will make that program untenable for most people. You'll be accumulating too much damage. I mean, so like if you start out, like say you're doing the 5x5 and you start with 50% of your 1 rep max, and let's say that's 225 pounds. 5 sets of 5 at 225 pounds is going to be a lot of work. Now, let's say you do the 5x5 for 2 or 3 years, and now you're working with sets of 500. 500 pounds for 5 sets of 5 is a very tall order, even for, really advanced lifters. So it's essentially like, the point I'm trying to make is that that's a perfectly good program, but what most people should think about is what are they going to do when they start hitting those plateaus and it's no longer working for you? You got to change your strategy up. Miracle Whip is blasphemous to God. For some reason, I knew this was going to be a mayonnaise comment. We do not have mayonnaise in this house. I don't have a problem with mayonnaise, but she does not like it, and I don't need it. So it's like, that's just one of those things I don't buy. Ian, what's going on, brother? Did you get enough subs to start doing All right, we got Ian in the house. Ian Miller. He's a aspiring bodybuilder, and he's joining the Navy. He enlisted, and he's trying to get his subs up to where he can do streaming on mobile devices. So I think he needs a few subscribers. So anybody, check him out right now, Ian Miller. Let's help him out. Let's help him get those subs above the number he needs so he can start doing some live streaming. Jim 80 from Korea, what's up? Mason W, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, you were on the other day. K-Man, Hellman's, yeah. If you're gonna buy mayonnaise, Hellman's is the way to go for sure. Any that was funny. Dragon Tamer, I'm the next great philosopher. I would agree with that. I put fentanyl on my roast beef sandwiches. That's how you do it, brother. You what? Oh, I just thought of I thought of a joke, but then I'm thinking, no, I probably shouldn't say that. Okay, so we'll leave that one. We'll let that one slide. That's what I'm squatting for reps. Yeah, so I got 580 on the bar, and I need to hit it for 2. That's what it's calling for. I'm in the phase called heavyweight acclimation. You're at 44 subs, Ian. Edward Burko, English or Spanish? English, but I know enough Spanish to understand when the guys on the construction site are making fun of me. Have you ever thought of doing any Olympic lifts? Yes, I love the Olympic lifts. I think it's the most awesome sport. Not very proficient at them. They're very technical. And when I'm not training for powerlifting, I do snatches and clean and jerk. But um, there's there's a level of mobility that you need to have to be really proficient at Olympic lifts that I am just not quite there. I got to really be able to get those knees over the toes. And with the surgeries that I've had, it's hard for me to just get that extra, like, real beautiful ass to grass that the Olympic lifters use. So normally I wind up doing like power snatches and stuff like that, which are awesome. I love doing them. But, you know, are you a power lifter? I play one on TV. Uh, Eat maintenance calories. Do you fast at all? Stevie Crenshaw. I fast every day. Now, if you're talking about actual fasting, I do intermittent fasting. So usually that's about an 18-hour window. Um, every 6 months or so, I try to do a 32 to 72 hour fast. And I'm behind schedule. I haven't done one in a while. I think it's because I've been competing so many times back to back to back that I haven't allowed myself to have that good, real good rest period that every powerlifter should have. I've been really competing a lot. I've been doing about every 6 months a competition, and you might say, well, 2 years, no big deal. Well, when you get to a certain level and you're competing at worlds and nationals and you're going for national records, and you're 50 years old, that can be a bit much. And I think I need to slow down a little bit. And I keep saying this, man, every time I'm like, this is gonna be my last meet. I'm gonna take a break, and then I'll be watching some videos on YouTube, and I'll watch, like, Eddie Hall training or something, and then all of a sudden I get this itch to just start going heavy again. So I'm gonna have to really be disciplined and allow myself to heal. And I think the Muay Thai is going to help. I think training Muay Thai for 3 months straight and then just doing maintenance lifting, because I don't want to lose my strength either. I think that'll be really beneficial to have something to focus on. Max squat is 110. I'm 125 body weight. Couldn't imagine getting up that weight. It takes time, man. I remember the first time I squat, it was just 135 pounds, and I'll be damned if it didn't almost break me the next day. But you just keep at it. I always recommend like a program like Starting Strength 5x5, something that's got nice trackable linear progression that makes you do the proper amount of volume. That's the big thing. Is a lot of lifters short themselves because they don't bring enough intensity to get super strong. And following a program like the 5x5 or Wendler 531 or something like that will force you to do the right amount of volume to get stronger, and then you'll see yourself blow up really fast. I mean, you guys see the way I train. I take 10, 15-minute breaks in between sets. This is training for competition. I'm getting ready to compete. You don't see me doing like 30-second rest, going to failure, and then hopping on the next machine and doing curls and then leg presses. I'm over here chopping it up with you guys. I set my little alarm. Go over there, hit a set of 2 or 3. That is my training. Usually when I'm doing accessory work, it gets a little more intense, but it's not about what you do and the way it's about how you do it. It's strategy. How to do the right amount of volume with the right amount of intensity to get that good growth. Where are you from? Chicago, Illinois. Seriously, the best power lifter till you're 99. There's some stiff competition, man. Dan is he's 86 years old and he's still fucking lifting that old son bitch. Looks like Popeye. All right, here we go. This is going to tell us a lot here. This won't be the heaviest amount of weight I've done by volume in a while, but it is the most I've put on my back since competition. Since the last, no, that's not true. I did 600 for double a couple of times, but I don't think I hit depth. Heavyweight acclimation. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna go tinkle real quick. The coffee's running right through me. La da dee, la da da. La da dee, la da da. La da dee, la da da. Oh shit. Tripping all over crap here. Alright, all the tea in China. And not natty. I'm as natty as a Nature Valley granola bar. You know, the home gym, it ain't much, but it's mine. No, it's ours. That might be a PR. I don't know if I've ever hit 580 for 3 before. I know that last one was a little high, but I just threw it in there first. I said, screw it, let's do it. I was only supposed to do 2. And that third one, I'm like, come on, one more. Yeah, no, my bar is always uneven. You know, that's just that's just the way my body is because of my back. It's 50. I'm 50 years old. How do the reps feel? They're good. So that first one scared me because I went a little too deep and I thought I was going to get stuck in the hole. I don't know if you saw that little pause down there. I was like, uh-oh. But then once I got past that sticking point, I just fired right up. And then the next two after that, I just went down to, probably we're a little high, but it doesn't matter. As long as I can bury that first one, we're good. Whoo-wee. You still need that 8-ball snowflake. 8-ball snowflake. I don't speak hieroglyphics, guys. I don't know what the symbols mean. Like, gotta let them nuts hang with a triple. Dr. Dense Nugs. That is great, dude. I love it. Dude, I love your new channel name. That's fucking great. I buried that first one. So we're good. I could have maybe done 4, maybe. But then I'm like, okay, I don't want to go too off script. I still got to do deadlifts. Dr. Dense Nugs in the house. If y'all don't know, go find out right now. This man saved my shoulders. I would not have been able to compete at IPL Worlds in 2022 if it was not for his lift. Or was that 23? Was that 20? I don't remember. Whichever one I blew my shoulder out. That was 23, I think. I got 8-ball snowflake, but I didn't know what the third symbol was. 8-ball snowflake. Thanks, Jim H. Ryuji. Are you professional lifting or do you do other work? Stephen Crenshaw. I would say I am as high as you can go as a amateur. Before, like I've gotten invited. I've been invited to invitational meets. They have one that's called Old Dogs, and it's all over 40 lifters, and it's a big show they have in California. I got invited to lift to that, and that one had a like you could win, like first place was like 10 grand, and then like 5, and then 2,000 after that, and then they have other prizes like you could get like sponsorships from Iron Rebel, that kind of thing. But man, for whatever reason, I didn't compete. But no, to compete at nationals and worlds, it's still technically considered amateur because what they do have prize money. Well, I don't know because they have. Let's see, first place at worlds. I want to say got $5,000. But that's not enough to live off of. You know what I mean? So I don't really consider that professional. Powerlifting cost me money. That's why I started this YouTube channel. I thought, man, if I can make enough money to cover like the expenses, like the registration, the entry fees, the yearly memberships to both IPL and USPA, because the USPA is in the IPL, International Powerlifting League, but I still have to have a membership for both of them if I want to compete in their sanctioned meets. And then there's travel costs. Like we drove to Alabama one year, and that was, $900 for room and board. And then there's food and all that shit, and all the equipment costs. So I was like, but no, my profession, I do commercial construction. I've been doing that for like 20 years. My max deadlift was 295 at the age of 17. Damn. That's badass. Have you heard from Natasha Ogby from Canada? She's strong like shit. That sounds familiar. Let me look her up real quick. Natasha. Ugby or Augie. She looks familiar, but no, I can't say. Um, there's the girls that were well known were the two Steffies. There was Steffi Cohen and then Steffi. They both worked out at Iron Addicts here in Vegas. I can't. They were kind of snobs though. Um, they had kind of a clique. They didn't just let anybody talk to them. And I got along good with all of them, but they just were like, I don't know, they were really uppity people. I didn't really care for them that much. Our group is really come as you are. You show up at a gym and it's me and my boys, my wife, or any of the girls that train. They don't give a fuck if you've never touched a weight in your life. If you express an interest, come on, get under the barbell, let's get it done. But then there's, some of the famous powerlifters, some of the sponsored people, they can be it's rare, but some of them are kind of snobby. Stan Efferding, he was a real dickbag. I trained with Stan Efferding for like 2 years, and we weren't hanging out or anything, but he's at the same gym as me, and we trained together. We talked. And his son goes to the same school my son goes to, and they had a parent-teacher day there, and him and his wife were there, and I was like, hey, Stan, what's up? And he looked at me like, who are you? Who the fuck are you? Don't talk to me. And I'm like, bro, you ain't that famous. You know what I mean? Don't be a dick. It's just real off-putting. Wet Shark, what's up? Hell yeah, thanks, Carlos. Whereabouts you located? I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, brother. What's the recovery time for that? Are you talking about my wife's surgery? What do you think, babe? About 6 months to a year? Till you're 100%? Probably 4 months till she's training regularly. I mean, she's already doing physical therapy and working out, but it's really slow. There's a bit of atrophy going on, which is normal. There's nothing unusual about that. I mean, for the longest time when I had to relearn to walk again, even when I was squatting real heavy, I had one leg that was noticeably bigger than the other one for a while. One of the competitions I did, I didn't have my best squat in the world, but I was able to get 600 pounds. And I was squatting basically off of one leg and using the weak one to just support myself. So it's like, you could almost say I had a 600-pound split squat. Dragon Tamer. So Vegas used to be a mecca for powerlifting and bodybuilding, but ever since COVID, it's not what it used to be. A lot of the big gyms, including Iron Addicts, closed down or moved, and a lot of people moved out of state to California, Utah, Arizona, and it's just now starting to make a comeback. So 2 meets in a row, I did 2 competitions where I had the #1 lift. I was the highest total of the competition, regardless of age or weight. You might say, well, that's awesome. 100 lifters? You did the best? Yeah, but I shouldn't be the best. What happened to all the 800-pound squatting gorillas we used to have? What happened to, Rich Piana's 5%ers? What happened to the Dragon Slayer guys? What happened to, we used to have some monsters that lifted in Vegas, and they've all kind of went out of state. So this local meet coming up on the 15th, I'm hoping to see a better turnout. I mean, as much as I love to be the best lifter at a competition, how awesome is that? It doesn't say a lot for Nevada powerlifting if I'm the strongest guy there. That's just not great. People want to see those big apes, the guy you need 6 spotters on each side and the bar's bending. It's a 55-pound squat bar and it's still bending. That's what we want to see. God damn. These knee sleeves suck, man. I can't get them off. Oh yeah. Best knee sleeves on the planet for squatting. They are so uncomfortable. Holy shit. One down. Fuck. Ouch. Ah. I hate these fucking sleeves. Fuck. Oh, yes. Whew. Oh, thank God. What do you do for accessories? I took my sleeves off. These things are badass. Best knee sleeves you can buy, but they have no flexibility at all. They suck. And if you get a little bit sweaty, they stick to your skin. So the best thing to do is dump a bunch of baby powder on them, which I didn't do. Holy shit. Like, dude, I'm winded. I'm winded taking my fucking sleeves off. A powerlifter in his natural habitat. That's eating a chicken. So, no joke. So here's what really sucks. So, I had just bought these, and I actually damaged them. You see the hole there? These were 130 bucks. And the first day I was trying to take them off, my legs were a little bit bigger, and I couldn't get them off them, and I was losing circulation, and my leg was turning purple. So I asked Christina to help me out. I was panicking, And she says, we might just have to cut them off. I was like, no, I just paid for these. They're $130. Yeah, they are legal for competition. Yep. So that was purposely. I had to make sure they were legal for competition. They are on the USPA approved equipment list. They're Helix. I don't know if we get they're inside out right now, but here's the brand. The inserts are pretty tough too, but these are better because of the way they're made. They copied the SBD stitching pattern, but they use the same thickness as the insert ones. It's well, it's probably backwards, but Helix. Just like the HRT clinic I go to. Now, if you do buy these sleeves, they're awesome for squatting. No, there's no better sleeve on the market. But most sleeves, like the SBDs or the Iron Rebels, you size down one. So if you're large, you go with a medium. You do that on purpose. These you do not. You cannot size these down at all. They have a different diameter for the quads than they do for the calves. So you have to measure your calves and your quads. These are made to fit you, and if you size them wrong, you will not be able to get them on at all. They can, I would say, maybe add 10 to 20 pounds to your squat. You definitely feel a lot better at the bottom. It's like, I don't know, it's almost like a spring on your knees. It's really hard to explain. I don't know the millimeters. I know they're competition legal. They're the same thickness as the SBDs. They're just way tougher. Like, the SBDs stretch a little. These do not at all. Oh man, they're horrible. It sucks that I'm ripping them. The rip's getting bigger too. And I probably should get a new pair, but I've only worn these like I've already destroyed them. I'm taking them off. That's how I've damaged them. Let me see. How much are the Helix ones? Maybe they came down in price. I know because they're a small company. Helix knee sleeves. Helix. Rogue Fitness. Helix Performance. So the website is gohelix.net, and the Helix knee sleeves version 2 are $120 USD, and the version 1, which I believe is mine, I don't know which one I have. It doesn't say. There's not like a tag on there. Is there a difference in design? Are $90. So what's the difference? Version 1. High density neoprene. Let's see. Designer private knee stability. USAPL compliant. Thickness 7 millimeters. What's different about version 2? Increase support and warmth through your squat workouts. 30 centimeters, thickness 7 millimeter. I don't know what the difference between version 1 and version 2 are. Maybe they're just a little more comfortable. Maybe they got some reviews in that said your shit sucks, it's horrible, I hate you, but my squat's better. So maybe they just, because that was the review I was going to give them was, this improved my squat, but they're fucking awful. You trying to hurt somebody? Like that was going to be my review. $200 for used ones, yeah, right. Hell yeah, Matt, I just hit 580 for 3 reps and I buried the first one. Tell Prophet Fear he would be proud. So now I need to get heavy strength, heavyweight acclimation. So I got to do 2 sets of deadlifts. Man, I need to clean my garage. Jesus. Oh, wait on the bar. Yeah, buddy. I'll do one warm-up set and then I'll jump up to 590. Maybe I'll do 2 warm-up sets. Your squat. Your squat destroys mine. My bench isn't far off. Yeah, my bench is, I don't know, man. I think I'm going to open with like 370. That'll be my bench opener. I know I can get that with a pause without having to use any leg drive. But how much higher am I going to be able to go? And I say that because I have some concerns about this arm. It's showing signs of having some issues. You see the new high stim fat burner by NutriCartel? No. NutriCartel. NutriCartel. Top supplements. The Fefe? El Jefe. El Jefe pre-workout, 54.95. They have Chaotic Rage, Crack. One of theirs is called Crack. Fat Burners, Domino. What's in this? Frequently bought together, I'm sure. Domino Fat Burner utilizes 13 ingredients to increase energy, enhance thermogenesis, appetite suppression, enhance your overall mood, and calorie wasting. Domino not only provides a unique formula of ingredients that facilitate weight loss, but also provides unique dosages of these ingredients to put your body in the best position to lose weight. Domino may be used during the day to increase calorie wasting, during cardio to provide extra sweat and source of energy for your workout. What does it contain? May increase energy, may enhance thermogenesis, may provide mood elevation, may suppress appetite. 6 trademarked ingredients. Juniper berry extract. I don't know, man. What's the thin fen, beta phenylethyl. I think that's speed. Isn't that fen? Thin fen. Interesting. So they're basically selling crystal meth. Is my help? Yeah. So, babe, you know how I was saying, like when you put torque on the barbell, it's hurting right near. So I just put that on there to kind of. I discovered when I'm coming out from under the squat bar, if I bend this way a little and then come out, it doesn't affect the arm. I need my favorite pre-workout, also called meth. Yeah, that's what it is. Felipe, what's up? Uh, Bought it as a euphoric experience for sure. Which one did you get, Jay? I prefer my pre-workout in a pipe underneath an overpass. Do you use smelling salt? No. I don't. Bobby left me because he made a calf comment. He was making fun of how small my calves were. So I told him, I said, if you want to get into passive aggressive shitty comments to each other, we can do that. And he disappeared on me. I didn't mean to chase him off. Be right back, guys. All right, let's do this shit. Now I should be nice and warmed up from squatting, but 405 is just like a good, like just to get your body and your mind into like, this is what I'm doing. It's not heavy, it's not light. Booyah. Put on some presentable shorts. Not a chance. You should see my singlet. I can't wait. I was going to wear my singlet just to show you guys the sexy little onesie that we wear. But then I thought about it. I'm like, what if I got to use the bathroom? It's going to be a pain in the ass. Oh, I see. Matthew's going to be a spammer. Oh, you know what? So, Matthew, you're one of those guys that you'll say a joke, and if nobody responds, you just say it over and over again, like, hey, I'm talking. when someone finally does respond to you, you're like, I got him. Need to be trained by him for squatting. I could bench 305, but I'm like 150 behind him in squatting. It ain't a race. A bunch of college kids just got arrested in front of my house. Damn, what for? I do like my ass. I worked very hard for that thing. Actually, I really didn't. It was just genetics. I remember in high school, they used to call me Bubble Butt. Here I am, like, in high school, I was 5 foot nothing, but I could jump straight up under the basketball hoop and grab it with 2 hands without running. Just jump up there and grab the sucker. Bam. When I was in the Marines, they used to call me Flying Meatball because like I could do bam. I had this cheat dunk I used to do because I couldn't quite get the. If you can't palm the basketball, you got to be able to get your forearm over the rim in order to get it in. So that I would kept doing that thing where I'd slam it, but it would fly out. So for a while there, I would cheat. I would jump up and grab the rim and then dunk the ball into it. But that's technically illegal. You can't do that. But it still looked fucking cool. I could, even now, at 50, I could still jump up and grab the rim. The only problem is coming down. If I go shoot hoops, my knees swell up and it'll hurt for like 2 days. So I got to be super careful about the high impact. Party got a little too wild. Some of the girls tried to fight the cops. That always works well. You got Zion, but Donka Donk. Yeah, right. You're in the right place, Maxwell. You and Matthew. Clap when you walk. Jumping's easy. The problem's the landing. Yes. That's I don't know, man. I used to play basketball at a really high level. The junior college ball. I played 1 year of division, first Marine Division basketball team. That's where I blew my knee out the first time. I came down and I was getting a rebound and it popped it. And then the second time we were jumping out of a 7-ton, and I had a was it the Alice pack, whatever. I had a pack on my back, and I came down and I landed. My foot landed on a rock, and my knee went sideways, like bah, crunch. Oh, it was the gnarliest sound. Oh my god, it was horrible. I can still hear that sound. It just sounded like Velcro and Saran wrap being ripped apart, and I started screaming. And so we were setting up our battery, and technically we were in a combat zone, so nothing happened, but you don't know that. You're in an area where you could potentially take incoming artillery fire. So Doc's got no time for my shit. He throws me in the back of a Humvee, and he's like, gives me a shot of the good stuff, and he's just like, wait, okay. So I sat there for what was like an eternity, and I lost track of time. I was like in another world. Like my mind, I was in so much pain, and I literally went to a happy place. And then I don't even. So this is the bizarre part. I don't remember how I got from the battery to Camp Doha, where they flew me, where I got taken care of. I don't remember any of it. I literally have a blank in my memory. I'm like, I don't know how that. I remember getting surgery, and I remember being in a leg immobilizer for the better part of a year, and I remember like everybody saying that I was malingering and they should be doing PT, and I'm like, fuck man, I had to do a year of physical therapy. You never get injured in the Marines. That's actually the reason I decided to get out, because that last year they moved me to headquarters, and I wound up typing in the S3, and it just sucked. It was just awful. Every day I'd look out the window and I'd see the formation at 1600, and I'm just like, we were transcripting Windows 95 files into Windows 98, but there was no electronic way to move the shit over, so I had to literally manually input it, and that was my life for like 6 months. I hated every minute of it. I kind of wish I'd have stayed in, but yeah. How did that even come up? What were we talking about? Used to jump out of the back of the truck, but when I hit 40, you slither out of it now, right? Yeah, exactly. And I didn't really jump out. I kind of hopped out, but I had, I don't know if you've ever been in the bed of a 5-ton or a 7-ton. They're pretty high off the ground. I mean, there's a ways down. Um, Scatley fans, talk about Xanax. Oof, Xanax. Oof. I don't mess around with that stuff too much. Um, the one time I did a lot of drugs. When I got out of the service, I did some drugs, but Xanax is just not one of them. The couple times I tried it, all it did was like light me out. We're sober now. I don't mess around with any of that stuff. A rock's a Huffy. Oh, here, I'll show you. You want to see my bike? Free Agent. That's an all aluminum frame, 24-inch BMX. Thing's badass. Single gear. I grind the fucking shit out of that thing. That's about I don't know, $600-700 frame. It's not a super expensive bike, but it ain't a Huffy. I would say Free Agent is up there with like maybe Mongoose or Haro. Definitely better than Schwinn. They're just good bikes. They're good. I call them old man racing bikes because they're bigger. Although it seems like even the younger kids are rocking the 24s now. Fuck yeah, Dragon Tamer. And you want to see what else? Let's see some nerd shit. I'm doing like Warhammer figurines, painting all those. And I got a whole bunch in the house. I got a Salamander's army. We got I just got this guy. It's Commander Farsight. I haven't even primed him yet. This is an Imperial Knight I'm working on. Look at that badass. But the painted ones I have in the house are the really good ones. The finished product. So we do Warhammer. We collect comic books. We're into gun. I got a whole bunch of Gundams down there. We like to put these together. Got a whole bunch of these model kits in the house. My wife consumes anime more than anyone I've ever met in my life, and we collect like the little figurines. I prefer to paint them myself, but sometimes the collectibles are cool too. Comic books. She's got the entire Black Canary series. I used to have all the original. I had the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run from Eastman and Laird. I had a #1 Wolverine. I had a #1 X-Men. I had so many. But most of those got lost when I was homeless. So now we have a reprint of the #1 Superman, 2nd edition. That's pretty cool. And we got a bunch of old Batmans and detective comics. What else we got, babe? We have a pretty extensive comic book collection, but it's all like real old stuff, real kind of niche. It's not like I wouldn't say it's high value. It's interesting. It's an interesting collection. Oh, so you have the old like Eastman and Laird black and white Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the gritty ones, you know, before they got all gayed up for the kids. Do you like Star Wars? I love Star Wars, and I don't consider anything after Revenge of the Sith to be Star Wars, except for the Clone Wars series. That gets a pass. I used to think David Filoni was awesome, but ever since he parted with George Lucas, he sucks. Uh, are you Indian? Uh, sure. I was adopted, so you never know. I might be Chinese. I don't know. I don't know who my real parents are. You were like the father I never had, but wish I did have. Well, thank you, Dragon. I appreciate that, but you know, I didn't really have a lot. I'm not gonna say my dad was a bad dad, but he wasn't there. I didn't know the man. I had to do everything. I had to learn everything the hard way. My height is 5'9", and my weight is 220. Uh, do you like Star Wars? Yeah, I do. Let's see. But let's see. What about a rough one? There's the one they never finished. I swear it was the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles they ever made and they'll ever make. I haven't. So I've been watching the Ronin, or I've been reading the Ronin series, and I'm like, it's okay. Because I want to say Liard is involved in that one, and I used to be an illustrator too. I draw. I do. Let's see here. These are just some sketches. Like this is one I did of with my wife. Uh, and like this, I did that just like a little marker sketch. I was just messing around. I whipped that up. It's just a Warhammer. And when they did the female custodies, I as a joke, I made a trans orc. And then, let's see. I thought as a joking around, and there any good ones in here? Oh yeah, this one's cool. These are my big booby Eldars. I like the and oh, I don't remember this one. That's I want to say that is supposed to be a Grey Knight going up against a demon. Oh, this one's cool. So this one I was messing around with dark shadows, like I'm practicing, because I haven't drawn in like 20 years, so I was trying to get back into it. And I think it made it a little bit too dark, but that's supposed to be a what is those? The night hunter. What are those Marines with the Conrad Curves? Night Lord. Wow, my brain's not working. And then of course that's like a big old orc boss. Yeah, my brain's not working. Somebody help me out here. Doom is awesome. Oh, this one I like. This is my rendition of like what a real female space marine would look like. And then I was joking around and I drew a female custodes, or what I think one should look like if they made them. But I'm of course against all that gender bullshit. I was just drawing it as a joke to piss people off. But anyway, that's some of the sketches I do. I don't know. I'm a big fucking nerd. I'm a nerd that lifts weights. That's why when you get these guys on here and they're like, I could beat you in a fight. I'm like, who are you? Like, what? Why is that even relevant? And no, you couldn't. You remind me of my dad. I hope that's a good thing. Thanks, John. Wet's awesome. I swear the knits wear only send because it was the second most used. Why do the mods keep putting me on timeout? I thought this was America. What did you say, Jay? I didn't see them put you on. I didn't see any comments that. The only thing I don't know. I don't see any comments that they blocked yours. Now there is now sometimes there's words you can put in that YouTube will block the comment of. I don't know what they are though. He passed away when you were 16. That sucks, man. I hate to hear that. Uh, yeah, my mods say they didn't time you out, Jay. And none of them are saying that they. Is training 3 times a week enough? Yes, yeah, you can, dude. You could train once a week if you do it correctly. But for most people, they don't bring enough intensity to get enough value out of that. And for people that are just starting out, the most important thing is consistency. So 3 times a week, an hour roughly, give or take, you can do a lot. That is all you need to do. Now, hopefully, if you start going to the gym 3 days a week, it takes about 90 days to get a healthy habit to where you will want to start training, and then by then you probably start seeing some results. You start liking what you're looking at in the mirror a little, and then you might start want to go more. Uh, well, thanks, John. Semper Fi, hell yeah, hoorah! So once you get that habit built up, then maybe it'll come down to like guys like me, where you kind of got to look at like, are you doing too much? How much recovery do you need? So for the beginner, it's like, God, I got to do this 3 times a week. Yes. This is what I'll say. If you're just starting out working out, this is the commitment you need to make. Never go more than 3 days without training, period. Come rain, come snow, it doesn't matter. I was going to let Unknown X could just go and see how long until one of my mods just zapped him. Did you always try to boost the morale with your Marines? Fuck yeah, man. We were jokers, dude. So like the FDC, our shop was with the forward observers, and they were hard chargers. You know, the FOs, like Marine forward observers. They all think they're special forces. A couple of them were Anglico guys. And those guys were funny. We were always making fun of them, and they would just get mad at us because we were the combat computer geeks. We're the ones that, we did the survey and the triangulation and the fire solutions for the cannons. So we're combat fucking nerds. You had to have a high GT score. Not saying that we're any better, or like, you had to be able to do math. So whenever, like a gunny said, anytime you leave the shop, I want you to have a clipboard and with a paper in it, and you need to walk fast, like look like you're going somewhere, and no one will ever bother you. And it's like anytime it was so funny. We had an FDC set up by Horno where the O3s were at, and we were doing communications training with them. The FATADs needed to talk to their mortars guy had these little computers called Bucks, and we were trying to talk to our situational awareness machine, which basically shows all the units on the battlefield. It shows where they're located, and if you input the data, it'll tell you how much ammo you have and like things of that nature. So to see if you're a viable asset for combined arms fire, that kind of thing. The point. I watched it was a Lance Corporal in E3 tell a PFC to take the trash out, and he goes, PFC, yes, Lance Corporal, take that garbage out. He goes, aye, Lance Corporal, and he walks away and runs away and gets the garbage. And I looked at Bob, who was in E5 or E4 at the time, and I was like, I called him. I said, hey, Bob, take the trash out. And he goes, fuck you, Chuck. Do it yourself. And we were just laughing our asses off. We were all on a first name basis. We just laughed at all the fucking hard charging, like motards. But anytime we left our shop, it was yes sir, no sir, good morning, first sergeant. Like we played Marine. It's just as soon as we got to where the Marines couldn't see us, we took all that shit off and we had our feet up on the desks. You know what I mean? We were just like chill dudes. And I think that's kind of common for people that can think for themselves. It doesn't mean you're less of a Marine. It doesn't mean you're not a patriot. It doesn't mean you're not invested 100% in what you're doing. It just means you're a free thinker and you understand that everything's a game and you play the game to succeed, but that your uniform is not who you are. It's just a thing you do. It's just like, I'm not Charles the Marine. I'm not Charles the powerlifter. I'm Charles. I just happen to powerlift, and I happen to have served in the Marine Corps. I am a, well, that's a little different. You're a Marine. Once a Marine, and you're a Marine forever. But, you understand what I'm saying? It's like we all have different paths in life, so we all do different things. It doesn't define you. It doesn't make you who you are. You never are so invested in what you're doing that thing becomes you. Like, so what happens if I identify myself by my powerlifting and I'm all about how much I can lift, and then I injure myself and I can no longer do this, I can't participate anymore. Like, what's that going to do to me? Like, shit, now what do I do? My whole identity just went down the toilet. And that is kind of what happened when I got injured in the service. I thought I was going to be in the Marines for life. I loved it and I was going to stay in, but I got hurt and that got taken away from me, and I didn't deal with it well. That's why I got into drugs and drinking. Like, I just couldn't handle becoming a civilian. It sucked. It's like everything about me, everything that I thought was special about me went down the drain when they told me I could no longer deploy. And it ruined me. I had to make the adjustment, and that's where I came to the realization that's like, it, we live multiple lives inside of our lifetime. Right now is a chapter of your life where you might be doing a certain thing. Maybe you're injured, maybe you're recovering, maybe you're addicted to something, maybe you have some troubles in your life. But it's going to pass, and you're going to be a different person when you come out of it. You'll make the adjustment, and things will get better. So that's why I caution people to not get so invested in what they're doing that it becomes them. They define themselves by it. You see it a lot with these ideologically possessed, like the gender stuff. It's everything's about sexuality. Everything's about their gender. Like, that's who they are. That's what they're all about, 100%. And the rest of us are like, I don't give a fuck what you rub your genitals on. Like, your sexuality is the least important, interesting thing about you. I could give a fuck. They don't understand that concept. I guess I should get back to lifting. I got on my soapbox there for a minute. You ever try sitting on the toilet backwards to use the back as an armrest? I did try to shit in a urinal once. I was drunk. That's where you put your chocolate milk and comic book. What's your favorite MRE aside from Chili Mac? Yeah, honestly, I like the ham slice in natural juices. I love that fucking thing. You just take this slab of processed Spam or whatever the fuck it is, and you put that cheese spread on it on a big ass cracker. Bam, we are good to go. What was the other one I liked? Omelet with ham was the worst. That was the shittiest one. They had what was that called? It was we called it corned beef gash. That one was all right if you could heat it up. Yeah, I always went for the ham though. The ham slice. That was my shit right there. Strawberry shake was my favorite. How long should I take off? My joints are sore. If you're suffering from tendonitis, 2 weeks. Most people can't or don't want to. They'll suffer through it. But think about shin splints. Shin splints basically they won't heal until you let them. But once they are healed, they will be stronger and you won't have that pain anymore. So if you just lay off of it for a couple of weeks and you let it heal, it'll be stronger. It'll come back stronger than it was. Letting something heal. Like, say you do have a little tendonitis in your bicep, like I do right here. It's kind of hurting. It's okay to do light stretching. It's okay to get some blood flow in there and move it around a little, but you don't want to put any load on it, if that makes sense. Sahin Yanyakin. Travis Arnold, have you tried whey protein, coffee, and adding your favorite creamers? Yeah, dude, as a matter of fact, we have coffee protein in there. we have a protein mix that is also a coffee, and it tastes like ass. I like my coffee black, so if I do have a shake, which is rare, I like to make my shakes like ice cream. So I'll blend a lot of ice cubes and crush them up and make it really, really thick so I can enjoy it like a dessert. All right, let's get this potty going. I'm gonna have to get back to using my timer because I gotta do 2 sets and I need to hurry my ass up. I have to work tomorrow. Timer? What do you do for a torn pec? I have never seen a natural lifter get a pec tear. That's not to say it probably can't happen, but it's rare. You need to go to a doctor. Like, you have to. You know, get an MRI on that bad boy. Find out how bad the damage is, and then if it's a partial tear, you gotta let it heal. Have to. Now, partial tears are interesting because there is a level of motion that you can work the muscle to with an appropriate amount of light weight, like a resistance band or something to help heal. What does that look like? Probably body weight. Maybe just even like, stretching it out. But where's the tear? How severe is it? Is it off the sternum? Is it at the connection points? Like where is your tear at? Did you tear the actual muscle belly? Like if I stabbed you in the chest, like that's a tear, right? My mother hated MREs with a passion. So as a joke, we took the beef stew MRE and I cut it open and put it on a plate. I made it really nice, even put a little parsley on it. Heated it up, and I gave it to, I was dating this girl, her name was Tracy. And I presented it to her, like I made dinner, and she was like, wow, this is really good. It's a little salty though. And I'm like laughing, like, you have any idea what we're eating? And it looked like a nice presentable meal. I put it on a plate and, kind of like proportioned everything to make it look like, it kind of looked like, like Dinty Moore or something you'd buy in the store, but like, it's possible to, well, the later when I want to say in the late 90s, early 2000s, they started coming out with better MREs. And I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a lasagna one, like an Italian dish? And there was a vegetarian one. Those were fucking horrible. It tastes super good. I used to weigh a 2.58, but I think about 5 or 6 months I saw the difference when they took whey protein. You're going into OCS for Marines. How many miles a week should I run to prepare? So you're going to be an officer. OCS, huh? All right. Officers run. They love running. Fucking hate it. I hate running. But to get a perfect score in a PFT, you got to be able to run 3 miles in 18 minutes. So that should be your target. I will say this. To get into boot camp, most guys, what did they have us running? When you're getting ready for boot camp, you're in the delayed entry program, whatever. I think it was like a mile and a half maybe. And they'd have us do that in under 14 minutes or something. Because if you get a base strength where you can do 5 pull-ups, run a mile and a half in 14 minutes, do 50 sit-ups, they're going to train you up. You know what I mean? You have the base strength so you can do the exercises, and they will take care of the rest. And guys that go in there and they're running every day, and it's like, that's awesome. The more the better. But I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just be in good enough shape to do the exercises, and don't be overweight. You do not want to go to boot camp as a fat body. You're going to have a bad time. And they'll just do the rest. They'll take care of it. You're going to train every day. They're going to be running every day. You're going to be doing push-ups every day. You're going to be doing pull-ups every day. You're going to be doing all that shit every day. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just be in good enough shape to get there. Rest and recovery. This is what I'll say, Ray. If you go 100% on anything, max, the most your body can do, it takes about 9-10 days to fully recover 100%. Most max effort, the average person, they don't really know how to go max out, like take muscles to absolute failure. So that's why we like to use like the RPE, perceived exertion, rate of perceived exertion. Like, how hard did that feel on a scale of 1 to 10? A lot of guys will be like, it's a 10. I'm like, nah, it's an 8. You had more in you, you pussy. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Assuming that the average guy going to the gym who's training hard is probably hitting an RPE of 7 or 8, maybe 9 if you're a hard charger. You're looking at probably 4 days of recovery. So if you're going RPE 9 on squats, you should probably wait 4 days before you go RPE 9 on deadlifts. And that's whatever your rep ranges are. Now, you notice that I'm doing deadlifts and squats together. Like, whoa, well, you're doing them on the same day. I see, but there's a strategy to it. So I did squats up to a certain weight as my warm-up for deadlifting. So that's a little different. I'm in a kind of a specialized training program. Funny thing is, when he was in, I was living near the back. Yeah, you never know, babe. We might have run into each other and just not known. All right. Give me a second on y'all. So first set is 590 for 3. Moon River. All right, got my timer set. Conditioning was always the worst. I would run 4.8, would die in a marathon. I hate running. I really do. Sprinting, I don't consider running. Sprinting, I consider to be a squat accessory. Uh, anyways, brother, I don't just fight anybody, and I don't tell anybody why I don't fight anybody. They just find out once they try to fight me, and this is not usually something I would say. Uh, Travis Arnold. I'm not sure what you're getting at. Who's fighting who? Like, what are we talking about? Let me see. Let's see you hit the heavy bag here, Travis. Are you like insinuating you would beat me in a fight? I like you, kid. You got spunk. I'm gonna say keep working. You got. I would definitely get a trainer. Maybe I'm not the type to brag. Well, here's the thing. I don't know. The subject keeps coming up. Like people are like, because I do Muay Thai training, right? So people are like, I'd kick your ass in a fight. I'm like, all right. Is it possible that you might just enjoy doing something to get to see how proficient can become as a martial artist? You just like really think it would be cool to be able to do the splits and do like a, you know, I don't know. What point am I trying to make? I don't judge a person's manliness based on how good of a fighter they are. A man should be judged based on his character and his ability to be calm and assertive and someone that can handle in an emergency, a leader, people that bring calm and direction to ugly situations, guys that keep their composure. A man should be able to keep his word, you know, and historically I've been a real piece of shit sometimes. I've done, you know, I've hurt people. I've not kept my promises. I've done the wrong things. But as men, we're always trying to improve. And I notice a lot of younger men, they have, I don't want to call them infantile, but it's a very childish way of asserting yourself to another person, another man. I mean, you might see somebody who's stronger or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. When you look at a guy and you look at him and you're like, "Fuck, I kicked that guy's ass." Like, why is that the first thought that pops in your head? You know what I mean? Like, where does that come from? And that involves looking inward. You got to really explore to see who hurt you. Were you picked on as a kid? Did you not have a dad? Like, what? Who did that to you, to where you think that your measurement as a man is your ability to inflict pain on somebody? You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense. Because I don't know. It's like I like to fight. I think it's fun. I'll get in the ring. I'll go rounds with you. I don't care if you kick my ass. It's a sport. We have gloves on. We got headgear. We're gonna go at it. Doesn't matter. Who wins, who loses. That is irrelevant. It's the same thing with powerlifting. I might be the best lifter. I might not be. That's not why we do the sport. That aside, that's where am I going with this? I don't know, man. It's like we joke around about it all the time. People call me out and they talk shit. They'll even, you know, all you guys are there. We have fun every time I put the pads on and hit the bag. Everybody turns into a UFC fight commentator, and you know, they're bagging on the old guy. He can barely turn his hips over, and it's like, huh. I'm out there like a cripple. But it's funny because in a self-defense situation, as a Marine, I have never boxed anybody. I have never thrown a punch in a fight, not once in my life. Usually a fight was me snagging you up and bashing you against something and breaking a limb and then putting you down, stomping on your neck, and then putting my knee in your chest and battering you unrecognizable. You know what I mean? Like we're real assault shit. Like, and you're the whole design of the way Marines fight is to get the fuck out of a bad situation, because if you're going hands with somebody, that means everything else has failed, including diplomacy. That is a last resort. That's an emergency situation. That's fight or flight, life and death. Not, oh, I bet I could beat your ass. You know, like, it's fucking weird to me. It's like, stop it, you goddamn fucking child. Like, I want to put you on my knee and spank you. Stop acting like that. That is not how a man, it's very unbecoming for a young man to act like that. But then I watch, like, what is it, the UFC, where they all live in the house. What was that called? Ultimate Fighter. It's hilarious. It's like, but I feel like there's a young group of young dudes, and that's just how we acted. I think that's how we acted when we were in the Marines too. I remember in my 20s, we were always like, yeah, I guess when I was a young man, the guy drinks your last beer and, you know, doesn't fucking go buy new ones, and next thing you know, you're out in the front lawn beating the shit out of each other. Both of you got bloody noses, and there's still no fucking beer. Like, it didn't solve the problem. Somebody still has to go to the store and buy more. Vlad, hell yeah, you're only 19. Holy shit, I thought you were like my age. Now you have to pick random fights in the street to prove the effectiveness of your Muay Thai and get the validation of insecure randos on the internet. Yes, you see, you said it better than me. It's like, I can't do something just because I enjoy doing it. It's like, you're either... Somebody said they wanted to fight me, and that was... Oh, okay, so you weren't talking to me, Travis. Well, Travis, I am subscribing to your channel because I want to see you progress. You now have 15 subscribers. So let's get some more videos going, buddy. Hell yeah. Show the world what you got, brother. That's why you bring weed. Steven's got the right idea. You know, it's funny. We went to a birthday party yesterday. One of my buddies, ironworker. And that's the first thing that everybody broke out was weed. I can't partake because I'm obviously, like, I just don't mess with anything mind altering. But everybody else was just rocking it up. They were having a good old time. Did 4 years with Golden Gloves, 8 years mixed martial arts, and about 8 years in wrestling, Taekwondo, and Muay Thai. Nice. I did Taekwondo, god damn, man, 30 years ago. I was pretty good too. Boxing, kickboxing. Now I'm doing Muay Thai, which I'm totally new at. It's not too much different than kickboxing, but there's because you use elbows, knees, and clinch. You have to totally change your tactics. So, like, somebody that's kickboxing, if they go fight Muay Thai and they don't know the rules, they're gonna get their ass kicked. And they're not used to calf kicks. And well, I mean, modern kickboxing's evolved, so it's interesting though. I'm having a blast learning it, even though I'm struggling because of my physical limitations. It's making me an all-around stronger person. It's making me more agile. I'm lighter on my feet. My cardio's improved, even though I'm focusing on powerlifting, so my cardio kind of sucks right now. I'm well beyond anybody in my age group. I'm able to keep up with most of the young guys in there, even though they're way more talented and they've been doing it a lot longer than me. I could take a hit. They call me the world's strongest punching bag. No, I'm not. I would never intentionally try to hurt someone, ever. That's not to say, oh man, my boss. No, I don't want to go there. Him and I get along great now, but we went through a rough patch, and there was a minute there where I was like, motherfucker, you know, like, but I still didn't. Thought about it. It's more like if you don't give me an option, you know what I mean? And that's very rare. I very rarely do I find myself in a situation where I can't reason with somebody, you know? Why are all these planes crashing lately? I don't know, man. It's terrifying to think about it. Are they crashing more because they're making the news and they're highlighting them? Has this always been happening? But it's not good. It seems like it's always bowing too. I can't help but wonder if there's not something going on that they're not telling us about. Oh man. Where is my car? Where it is. I'm gonna get a refill. Give me a second. Two more sets. How many? Right on time. Times 3. All right, let's do this. Let's do it. One more set. We got 620. Dude, my lifts are coming along. I might be a shitty boxer, but I'm a strong fucker. Alright. Oh, Marines and math. Hold on here. 600. 605. All right, I got this. $5.95. Oh shit. Yiddly weedly, Bob. All right, we're good. Oh yeah, Christina, you play basketball too. Were you a center, sweetheart? Travis Arnold, already subscribed to you. Seem like a pretty level-headed man. I like that. Thanks, Travis. Most of the time I am. I've lost my composure a few times, but I do pride myself on my conflict resolution skills. Is that what you're into? Are you Canadian? Let's see. What did Dragon say before that? Believe me, I've had my ass kicked so many times by women. Is that what you're into? Looks like a good RV at 5'9". Yeah. I played punt returner, strong safety, and fullback, believe it or not. So I wasn't the fastest guy, but I had this really badass. I was quick in a sprint, and because of my low center of gravity, I was the guy that would, I'd get you 10 yards every time. I just bam, I'd take aim and dive into people. Like, in high school, it's not like the NFL where everybody's so super proficient at tackling. You could use your body weight to hurt people. I almost knocked myself out once. This guy was cutting me off, and I was coming around the sideline, and I just took aim and ran into him as fast as I could, and I was going to try to flip him over me. And I don't remember what happened, but I hit him somehow, and I just everything went black, and I woke up kind of staring at the sky, and I was like, huh. The coach is like, you got knocked the fuck out. Just want to give you a heads up, subscribe to you. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I got, oh, you were a point guard? Wow. That's like some LeBron James shit right there, because you're 5'9", and for a woman, that's pretty tall. Have you ever met Brian Shaw? Yes, I have. They're actually training out here quite a bit. The UFC, home of the UFC is right off of 215, one of the freeways out here. Big, huge fight center. You can go in there you can just go off the streets and check it out. It's lately people that have been going there is Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall. Who else? There's an older strongman that they hang around with, and I can't remember his name, and he's a pretty cool dude too. So it's not uncommon to see him around town. But there's a whole group of them that I know. Eddie Hall's trying to become like a fighter, and he's getting pretty good. He looks, for as big as that dude is, I would be petrified of getting in the ring with him if he was intent on killing me. Pause. What are we talking about? Dragon Tamer. I was a quarterback in upstate, and Ray Rice was assistant coach. Oh, that's cool. But I was better at baseball. You know what, Christina? You and I have never, ever, in 13 years, gone to the park and just shot hoops. And I don't know why. And well, I do know why, because my knees are shot and we don't go. But that would be so cool to just go and, because I could still light up threes. It takes me a few to get last time I went and shot hoops, like I swear, like the first 30 shots I took were air balls, because I hadn't done it in like 10, 15 years. But just like, I don't know, just like riding a bike, all of a sudden I heard that swish, and then 2, shoot, 3, shoot, 4, shoot, and then behind the line, 3, 4 feet back, I'm just launching them. I could take jump shots on a high school basketball half court. You know what I mean? Like, that's how far out we used to shoot. They just go, you just bam. because we were shorter, what they would teach us to do is you jump up as high as you can and then release at the apex. And the guy used to hold a broom and try to hit the ball. Because otherwise you're going to get stuffed. You know, some 5'9" kid on a basketball court's going to get his shit packed in. I'm pretty good. I have really, really good crossover. And I led the team in steals. I was a ball hawk. I would get really low and have my arms out. And especially with the high school kids, you just got your hands out and they see like a little short white guy. And I would just watch the waist and just hit the crossovers. You know, the guy's coming back, he's doing all this fancy stuff, and he's back and forth. And as soon as I would just have my hands out, I would always go opposite his waist. And just bank, and then down the court, gone. Or just launch it. You know, guys would see, like, our point guard and our forwards, when I was hawking the point up in on either side, they, as soon as I would go in for a steal, he would already be down the court, and I would just fucking fling it to him. We had a good squad. Who's in better physical condition for their age? You or LeBron James? I would hope LeBron, because he does it professionally. I know I'm stronger than him by a lot. That man can't squat for shit. But they were saying, like, does it really matter? Whatever he's doing, it's working for him. People were bagging on his squats because he was doing these quarter squats of like 315. They're just horrible for him. And they're like, God, who's our strength coach? But you can make the argument, like, the man at his age can still get his head above the rim. So, now LeBron is a mutant. There's certain people that exist that are just outliers. You know, the rest of us are on a bell curve, and we might be on the far end of the bell curve, but there's outliers. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, you know, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Bo Jackson. They're not even in the curve. They're so far out here that you can't compare them to other human beings. They're just different. Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw, Jesus Christ, that man. You know, most guys his size have sort of some sort of condition with their thyroid that they just keep growing, like Andre the Giant, and they're usually physically weak, like their heart can't support it's like their body keeps growing, but everything else. Brian Shaw is just a big fucking person. Everything's proportional. Shaquille O'Neal, I mean, you ever seen him in college? Holy shit. Yeah, I'm tiny. There's like Granzer, yeah, absolutely. I'm on the bell curve. I might be on the high end of the bell curve, but I'm on it. So I'm normal human. Those guys are just like, there's only one Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? Take them off. That costs you money, buddy. Do you think this can also apply to intelligence? 100%. I believe in the Pareto distribution. You should look that up, the Pareto principles. You can use that to predict a lot of things. But, you know, intellect is absolutely true. I mean, there's outliers. There's people that are just different. They call it genius, but I don't think that categorizes it properly, because in a lot of ways, everybody's got a little genius in them. There's a spark of divinity that's in a way, we're all the same. Genetically speaking, we're all in one big family. We all come from a common ancestor. There's a lot about us that's similar, and we could celebrate those similarities, but everybody has a spark of divinity. There's only one you, and what is it? What combination of what skills, what attributes makes you different or special from everybody? Not better, but different. You know, soggy biscuit. I actually, Steven, do you ever serve with British Marines? I actually learned firsthand what a soggy biscuit was. Like, I witnessed it. Them Brits, I like them boys. They fight pretty good, but they're different people. Why does Israel need us to aid money when God's already got their back and they are God's people after all? You know, Al Avio, we are God's people. And Israel's our biggest ally. And if you look at the demographics, there's a large percentage of Americans over there. But here's what I'm going to say. If you came to some fucking moron that's lifting in his garage, if you came to my stream to talk geopolitics, you came to the wrong place. I don't deal with the ideologically possessed. And it might surprise you, too. Could you take on a bear? It depends on what sport. Pretty sure I got them in checkers. Any tips for chest workouts? Yes. Stretch. Stretch the pectorals. Tempo, slow, explode, fast, stretch. So people are like, I'm going to do incline for upper chest or decline for lower chest. Stretch them out. And then you can also apply the same principles to biceps, any of your muscle groups. You want to get in that stretched position. You know, if you're doing triceps, you want to get the whole thing stretched out. And then when you have your pecs stretched out, you can do rep ranges called lengthened partials and really hammer that. And that's going to give you access to a whole new level of hypertrophy that the body is designed to become efficient in the way we use it. So if you're doing the same motion over time, your nervous system will adapt to it. It'll try to use less muscle fibers to do more work. And it becomes routine. And that's where we start getting repetitive motion injuries. So changing things up, like the width of your grip or the deepness of the press, usually stretching and speed equals strength. Error code 420. Is chest harder than an NFL offense? It depends who you're playing chess against. We'll give them something worse than October 7th. Who's that? Who's we and who's them? How do I get a body like yours? I would say good solid 20 years of hard drinking and heavy drugs. If you want to follow in my footsteps. No, I don't know. I got sober and I trained every day for 10 years. I never worked out to get a physique. I worked out to get strong. Finished the essay, got 20 sources, didn't proofread in it, just finished it. Now I'm signing off. Thanks for being the entertainment. Hell yeah, man. You could have asked me questions about your paper, and I could have maybe helped flunk you. All right, the timer went off. I don't feel like I'm ready yet. What time is it? I gotta fucking hurry. This is the last. This is it right here. Give me like 30 seconds. It. Squats went really well. Did I lose the stream? Are we still on? Yeah, we're good. Refresh. I lost my stream on the laptop. There we go. All right. All right, all right. Oh, shit. I'm going to take something here. What am I supposed to do? Okay, got it. Got it. Stalling. I couldn't get to. My grip slipped. That's all right. I still got it. We're good. We got our numbers. The program called for 1 to 2. Fucking grip slipped. That's all right. We got our numbers. I hit 580 for 3 reps on squats, 620 on deadlift for 1 1/4. We are right on target. Hell yeah. I wonder we do. I put Granzer on a timeout because I think he's like a kid who's like in the back like, Dad. I'm like, what do you want? And he's like, you're fat. Okay, good one, thank you. Like, you're not a good troll. You're kind of just go come up with something clever and then come back. You got 1 minute. 1 minute to think of something funny, and if you don't say something funny, I'm just gonna ban you. Okay, go. Yeah, Granger, you seem thirst for an admin post on his channel. Not sure it's gonna happen. No, he has to come up with a clever. He needs to come up with a clever troll, or I'm gonna put him on a permanent timeout. We're waiting. All eyes are on you, Granger. You were waving your hand in the back like you had something to say. Here's your chance. Don't disappoint us. It's like guys that fucking spam in the chat, and when you give them your attention, they have nothing to say. It's like, what? What do you want? What do you want? Dad, daddy. What? Yes, son. Yes, the adults are talking, but what do you want? Oh my God, what's your juicing regimen? Good Lord. Should I block him, guys? What do you think? Keep him around, see if he comes up with any. You're not. You suck, dude. I am disappointed in you. Oh God, he's a waste of youth. I know. I hate to block people, though. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what. I won't block you. Next stream, you got time. I got to. Let me see here. Today is week 4. I'm supposed to bench press tomorrow. I got to hit 345 for a double. That's not bad. That's easy. That seems kind of low, actually. But, so, you got time. Come and try to, maybe go on Reddit, look up, like, troll or, whatever. Try to find something clever. Maybe write some jokes down. I want you to read it to yourself, Granger, and say, would this offend me? Probably not. It probably just makes me sound like an idiot. So, we have higher expectations from our trolls on this channel. I'm challenging you to actually come up with something funny. I'm guessing you're either really young or you have an IQ of less than 90. Which one is it? Don't block. Hopefully comes up with something better. Yeah, I'll give him a chance. He's wasting his youth chatting nonsense. Well, aren't we all, though? Really, what are we doing here? Maybe you guys find me entertaining. Maybe I know I have some people that hate watch me. That's the 90s. See, that's funny. I got hope for you, buddy. I got hope for you. But it's like, I know some guys, especially the younger kids, they try to do these little mic drop statements, like these little, what they think is like hurtful. And I look at the comments, like I try to read all the comments, and if they're engaging or interesting, or you guys ask me a question, I try to actually read all of them. But then I'll come up to somewhere, they're like, they're so lame, it's like, I don't even want to acknowledge it. They're never very funny. I tried to research funny, offensive things to say, feel the trolls for once, but what is there to make fun of this man for? Well, it's like, bring it. If you're going to fucking try to hurt my feelings, like, bring it. Hey, Dow Kinner, Semper Fi, hell yeah. You're jacked, you served, you got hobbies. Yeah. Guys, it is way past my bedtime. I got training late tonight, and I honestly, I wasn't going to do it. But it's not optional. Like at this point, it's do or die. This is like, this tells me where I'm going to be on competition day. I have one more heavy day with squats. I want to say, let me look at the schedule here. Week 5. So I got to do 600 for a set of 4. If I can get all 4 of those reps, I'm right on target to hit 650 and break the record. Bench press, I got to do 355 for 4 reps as my last bench. And then deadlift, I have to hit 635 for 4 reps. If I can hit 635 for 4 reps on deadlift, I'm in. I can get the record. Now, if I get all 3 of those lifts, I'm going to have a fucking total that is going to be unbeatable. No one's going to touch it for years. And that could put me in Hall of Fame territory. Maybe. It puts me in a very, very, very small list of lifters. I will definitely have the national record for the total, for sure. This, I could be 50 years old and have the best meet of my entire life. How fucking cool is that going to be? The only thing that concerns me is my shoulders. Like, it's not painful, but it reminds me of the pains I was having when I blew my shoulder out, and I wasn't paying attention to them because they weren't that severe. It was like a dull throb. It was like, yeah, annoying, but not a big deal. And then I went for a 400-pound press, and that's when it started to separate, and I could hear it tearing like Velcro. And I dumped the weight. I just let go of it, and it hit the safeties, whatever. And then I rehabbed that for a year, and now I'm back up where I was, close to it. I'm not quite as good as I was before I tore it, but well and way higher than where I need to be for my age group. But now I'm like, I don't know. I'm really. So that's the only thing. The deadlifts are going, the squats are going, the back feels good, the knees feel good. I think the Muay Thai is actually helping me because it's increased my flexibility, my range of motion, and all that stuff. My doctor put me on Celebrex, which is old people medicine. Do you guys ever see the commercial? Celebrex, Celebrex. dance to the music, and it's got this old couple and they're dancing. And it's like, you could take Celebrex and not be a testosterone and DHB, which is dihydroboldenone, dihydro something. What is it? Let me read it here. DHB. DHB. Here. Yeah, dihydroboldenone. According to More Plates, More Dates, it's overhyped and liver toxic. But I've been, dude, I take such a small dose. Like it's, I don't know what these guys would in the reference range he's talking about, but you read his article and it's like, DHB is a synthetic androstenedione steroid and a derivative of dihydrotestosterone DHT. It's more commonly known as 5-alpha reduced metabolite of boldenone, equipoise. Just like how testosterone interacts with the 5-alpha reductase to produce dihydrotestosterone, boldenone 5-alpha reduces into DHB. Among many using this hormone in a performance-enhancing context, is reported to be formidable to trenbolone in regards to muscle-building potential, but with more favorable side effects. Advocates of dihydroboldenone can claim that it's twice as strong as testosterone. The claim is typically based on the premise that DHB features an anabolic to androgenic ratio of 200 to 100. Thus, it's implied to be twice as tissue-selective as testosterone milligram per milligram. Unlike its parent hormone, DHB features no estrogenic effect, which is seen as desirable to trade among those seeking efficacious steroids to use in conjunction with testosterone. Where's the downside? Boldenone is bond. It's the aromatization makes steroid poor substrate for 5-alpha reductase. The bond dramatically shows aromatization and makes steroid. Let's see. When boldenone substrate 5-alpha reductase can be converted to let's see, not substantial. Although boldenone inherently has a strong anabolic effect with moderate androgenic effects, DHB is perceived by many in the bodybuilding community as a superior hormone in muscle building context. Due to the parent, let's see, studies conducted. Very little clinical data exists evaluating the efficacy or safety profile of DHB. There is one study that we can reference actually shows DHB stacks up to testosterone in a controlled gun. It's got a clinic. I actually want to read this. So this one's actually a peer-reviewed study, so I'm going to save that. We like those. I can give you my anecdotal opinion. So before I was running a test in Masterone at low doses, I was on 150 tests and 200 Masterone, somewhere around there, maybe between 200 and 300, and for cruising, not for competition. I would get acne and start crying watching movies and shit like that, and the little things you notice where you're like, that's weird. This stuff, I've had no side effects. I'm on really low doses of it, and I'm a hyper responder. I don't need much. Probably because I was all natural until the age of 46, so I didn't have all the mileage that a lot of the younger guys had. And for me, it's working great. I have no issues. Last time I got my blood work done, my physical blood work, not the testosterone, but the one from the doctor that shows like your cholesterol, your triglycerides, your organ health, like your creatine in the blood or the urine, that kind of thing. And everything was well within range for my age group. And he said that like my numbers compared to guys in their 30s and 40s. So like I'm doing pretty good. And then I had some damage because I had all those years where I was abusing drugs and alcohol. And I've been sober for a long time, but I still had that damage. And I say like every 7 years, roughly, the body turns over all of its cells and we're essentially new people for all intents and purposes. So a lot of that old damage has been, repaired because I'm not abusing that anymore. My health markers compared to the average 50-year-old man are outstanding. My blood pressure is right on point. The only issues I have are breathing. My nose is always plugged up. I've had my nose broken a few times. I have severe allergy issues. But as far as like anything related to training or this lifestyle, like, dude, I'm doing great. We like to do research too. We try to do as much as we can. All right. That's pretty great. The longer you stay natty, the more you get out of it for sure. Dow. Yeah, so, and what a lot of people, and I don't really talk about this a lot because um, I get what's called contempt prior to investigation. Guys will come on my stream and they're like, oh, you're on trend. Like, 50-year-old man on trend. I mean, I guess you could take that, but you're asking to, for an early grave. There's other compounds. But, people have their minds made up. They see a certain physique and they just think, oh, this guy just did a ton of drugs. And it's like, well, you can go to my videos and you can actually see me as a natural. When I first started this channel, I was 100% natty and I was still 220 pounds. And I think my powerlifting numbers my total was right around 1,500 pounds, which I want to say, how old was I? 46? Pretty good for a natural. I had the national records in the USPA for like 6 months, and then the guy beat me. And then I went on somewhere between the age of 45 and 46. I don't remember when. I was right around my birthday, so I want to say July. And at the time, I was just strictly on HRT doses. And I loved it. I mean, I felt like a 20-year-old. Like, if that was looking good, I think I put on 8 pounds of lean muscle mass. Like, I was just doing great. And, of course, we took things. I did a couple of cycles, and that was probably ill-advised. But now I'm just like, I'm cruising on this protocol, and I'm still making gains. I don't know what to tell you. It's just, it's working. I don't know. I doubt I'm healthier than you at 22. Like, all those years on the construction site, breathing all that silica, and then of course, I got the allergy issues, and I've had the back surgery, and I've had my knee rebuilt, and blew my shoulder out, and it's like, everything works. I have really awesome range of motion. We do a lot of like yoga and stretching, and of course, I do the Muay Thai training, so that mitigates, but it's constant work. It's constant fucking effort to maintain flexibility. Every day it's pain. And it doesn't matter if you train or don't. If I do nothing, I hurt worse. People are like, you should give up squatting. Your back hurts. I'm like, it was hurting before I started lifting. That's for sure. How much longer will I do this? I don't know, but I'll lift for the rest of my life, for sure, in some capacity. Speaking of go to bed, bam. All right, guys, it is late. Babe, thanks for helping me out. I really appreciate it. She's my moderator. All my mods are awesome. All you guys kick ass. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this content. I'm having a good time with it. I'm on point. Everything, my lifts are going great. I am right now today, if I competed, how much hypertrophy can you get in a week? I still got a couple of heavy training sessions to go, so we're not quite done yet. But we're ready, man. I love you guys. I will see you on the battlefield.